All right, welcome race fans once again to Virtual Racing Network here on VRN tonight. Have a special race. This is the Randy's Rap Super Speedway Series versus the Atchison Motorsports Xfinity League. Again, it is a battle of the leagues here tonight on VRN. And this is a last minute thing came about, but we are here to do it. This is going to be an exciting race. Scheduled to have 20 cars here, 10 from each league, and that is how it's going to go down here tonight. Which league will prevail? That is going to be the question here tonight. We'll get into all of that here in a minute. We're going to get a word with both of the owners if we can get a chance to do that. But as always, we want to thank all the sponsors here for the broadcast and make all of this possible, starting with, of course, Walls Beard Co. You can check them out at wallsbeardco.com. If you're a guy out there, you have a beard, you need to take care of it. So check out wallsbeardco.com. They have a lot of natural and organic products, a lot of different scents, so you can smell good all day as well. I'm sure the ladies will love you too. SimSpeedShop.com. Make sure you check them out if you are an iRacer. You're going to need to up your game just a little bit. What better way to do it here than with a customizable button box? And if you're doing some rallycross racing, you're going to need that e-brake as well. Northwest Racing Series. We just got done doing their last race for the truck chase. We'll be going over that next Thursday. Round 2 of the chase starts in with 6 drivers. 2 have been eliminated, so that be coming up. They are the official one-to-go sponsor here, so every white flag is sponsored thanks to Northwest Racing Series. If you are in the Northwest Club here on iRacing, hit them up on iRacing and look and see if you can get into that league. Ohio IndyCar League. They came on quite some time back now. They are no longer just taking Ohio club members here on iRacing, so if IndyCar racing is your thing, look them up on iRacing. You can also get all the latest details at facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League. iBog iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. They're the ones putting all the animations and all of that into these overlays here. So if you're looking to get into broadcasting, you can check him out. That is Jason Allison at ibog.co. They are your sim race broadcast graphics source. Again, make sure you message them. That is Jason Allison at ibog.co. That will do it for all the people backing this broadcast here tonight. It's going to be a fantastic race. People are still coming in to the race. So that being said, we are going to get to the racing information. But before we do, we want to introduce our second chair here tonight. And of course, that is the one and only Jeff Stabnow.
To be here tonight. We've got some sort of all-star grudge match, steel cage match. I don't know what this is, but it's a super speedway duel with some team-on-team action here. So I'm extremely excited to be here. Can't wait to get this thing started.
Yeah, it is going to be a good one. I think the only thing I'm going to be worried about here, we got some new names here that we have not done before. For the most part, I think they're going to be pretty good. I think we'll do just fine here, but there are some we'll have to make sure we do clarify. But, I don't know if you want to call it a grudge match or just a league battle. We don't know if these guys, obviously they don't hate each other. They wouldn't be here doing this. So it's not really a grudge match per se. But it is a friendly little race here between leagues. But at the end of the day, it's going to show some bragging rights if you can come out on top.
Oh, yeah, this is a great thing, right? So this is a chance. You've been battling these drivers all season long. You go against the same guys every week, and now you get to work with guys. You get to be teammates with guys that you weren't normally teammates with. So it's really a change-up or a curveball. We do a little bit of this, participated in the World Cup the last couple of years, and we do some of this team super speedway stuff. And it's got a little bit of a unique strategy when you're trying to strategize a whole team and get them to communicate and strategize pit stops, and you're all trying to figure out where you're at on the track. So you can figure out, do we hold here? Do we block these 2 lanes? When you're trying to get team points versus individual points, it really is a game changer, and it's a blast. And late to the game here a little bit. I'm not sure exactly how we're scoring this, so Maybe I jumped the gun there on a little bit, but yeah, it's just real nice to work with, two teams on a super speedway. It's always fun racing.
Yeah, and one thing that you have to think in the back of your minds here is too, yes, this is league versus league, but at the end of the day, a driver wants to win. So, you know, will they work with their own team or own league to get the win, or will they jump in front of the other league's pack if they're running too wide to try to get the win? So you have to kind of keep an eye on all that because as a driver, you want to get the win, but you definitely want to get as many cars from your own league to the front as possible. So a lot of factors could go into this. I know personally, I'm the type I would probably work with my team even if I didn't get the win. But we may see somebody get in front of the other pack if it'll get them to the lead.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine, and everybody always wants to win. You want to be that winner, and when it comes down to it at the end, um, we're all going to try to win. I'm sure. If we're out there in our league doing this as a team, so I can only imagine that these guys would be the same way. But I expect that for the most part, they're going to work together and try to get everybody up there, and then. When it comes down to it, there might be a little bit of jockeying for position, but hopefully, if things do go sideways, they don't get into a position where they take a bunch of their teammates out.
Yeah, and that's going to be the trick here. This is a super speedway, so anything can happen in racing, especially at a super speedway like this. Anything is possible. Anything could happen. And the question is, if we have a wreck, I don't know how many fast repairs are here. You might be able to see that information. But if we have a wreck that takes out some of your teammates, will you work with the other league to get yourself to the front? I'm sure they're going to want to. The question is, will that other league work with you? They're going to want to just dominate the race, I'm sure. So we'll see, if we have a wreck and stuff gets shaken up, cars get separated, who's actually going to work with who here tonight.
Well, one thing about super speedway racing, if you're in the back and trying to get to the front, you don't always get to pick your partner. And so, if you see somebody that's doing what you want to do, and you're in the back and they look like they want to head to the front and they're doing it the way you want to do it, you're going to latch on. You're going to be best buddies until you find somebody better to be best buddies with. So I would imagine you'll see some guys working together, and then you'll see somebody, hey, there's a guy that's actually on my team. Let me go work with him.
Yeah, and I think you will see that a lot here tonight, as what we like to call hanging them out to dry. I have a feeling we are going to see that, if you see somebody that is your teammate, or in this case, maybe teammate or not, they're in your league, and you're going to see them ditch the people that are in the other league if they're working with them. The question is, if you do that too early in the race, will that come back to bite you in the rear here later in the race when you might need them to possibly get to the win?
Well, this is one of those where we know that it's a team versus a team, so it's not like you're out there making new friends on the race and expecting this guy to work with you at the end of the race. So I would think that it's probably going to bite you in the butt later, even if you don't. I mean, when it comes right down to it, your allegiance is going to be to the guys that you're working with.
That is very true here. And that being said, we got about 16 and a half minutes to go. So we are going to step away real fast, but we're not going anywhere. So make sure you stay tuned because we will be right back. As always, thanks for tuning in here tonight to VRN. Definitely share it out there. Let's see how many live viewers we can get here tonight for this Battle of the Leagues race. Definitely subscribe if you have not, and hit that like button if you like the racing you're expecting to see here tonight, and we'll see for sure. And we're going to be right back. We're going to see if we can't get the owners of each of these leagues in here and have a little conversation with them here about what brought this all about, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back here, ladies and gentlemen. We do have Randy Post, the owner, of course, of Randy's Wraps Super Speedway Series. So we'll talk to you, and then we'll see if we can't pull him up here in a minute and have a chat with him. But we want to talk to y'all about what got this whole started with the Battle of the Leagues, you might call it. That's what we're calling it here tonight. So what brought about this race?
So there's a guy, Darren Manning. He's new to iRacing, and he's running in both of our leagues. And I also do live admin for this league, the Atchison Motorsports League. And we got together, and we were just like, wanted to have a fun race together and bring everybody together. And we've never seen it done, so why not give it a shot and see how it goes? I mean, definitely just a fun thing to try.
Well, definitely, it looks to be fun here. Again, I believe you were talking to us earlier, and there's going to be 10 from each league, if I'm correct.
Yes, sir. There's going to be 10 from each league, so it's a fair playing field. And I guess whoever wins, wins. Well, it'll be fun. It'll just racing for bragging rights. And
that's what Jeff was bringing up a second ago. So there's no... based on finishing position, is it just whichever league has the driver that wins the race? Is that who is the winner here tonight?
I'm sure that would be the premises, but we could also throw together like an average finish for the league, and we could say, okay, this league won, but you took the overall win. So it's if I win the overall average finish, and Roy's league wins the top finisher, it'll equal out.
Well, definitely, we're looking forward to seeing some great racing here. I know KR usually covers your series for you, so we haven't got to, but we do want to mention we are picking you up in August, and you'll be over here as well. So we're looking forward to that new series coming to the channel. And we kind of see this as somewhat of a preview of what is to come, potentially. So, we'll try to get with Roy if we can, but we'll let you kind of talk a little bit about your league and when you normally race and, all that good stuff for anyone that might be wanting to join.
Right. I run Randy's Wraps Super Speedway Series on iRacing. We have a Facebook page. We've got a website. If you're looking to join, you can message us on either or any of those. And we run Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we usually switch between Daytona and Talladega with all three NASCAR series. So we run the Xfinity Series, the Cup Series, and the Trucks, just to try to keep it live and not boring every week. That we are not running the Cup cars at Daytona every week.
Well, definitely awesome little thing there to mix it up a little bit. Keeps it fresh. You never know what you're going to get. Well, you kind of do, but still, you never know. With super speedways, anything can happen. We definitely love them here on the channel as well. And it doesn't look like we do have Roy here. He is still trying to get something to eat real fast before this starts. So we'll let you get back down to your channel, and we'll go over some of the race details and see if we can get him here in a minute. So again, that was Randy Post, and thanks for having a little chat with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you much.
All right, that was Randy Post here. So Jeff, we'll go over the pre-race analyst here. We don't have any wind here tonight, and it's a clear track with a 65 mile an hour or 65 degree temperature. So a very cold night here at Daytona.
Yeah, we've got a very grippy track, which I don't know how much that matters at Daytona. We get so much downforce on these trucks, so we really don't have to worry about sliding around too much. But we've got plenty of grip, so these guys should be able to drive it anywhere. They shouldn't have to worry about sliding up in a corner or something. I would imagine that we're probably going to get or we'll have the ability to with this kind of grip to make some tire decisions that maybe on a slicker track we couldn't. So maybe we'll see some pit strategy come into play here. I don't know, but we've got a nice cool night and a grippy track.
Indeed, a very grippy track. We have 100 laps here, 250 miles. It's going to be a long race. But we've talked to Randy earlier, and to get a feel for it, with just 20 cars, I don't think we're going to see too many cautions here tonight. I could be totally wrong. It is Daytona, and the big one could happen. But you said earlier, as we were doing some looking, they have 3 faster pairs, which does indicate that they will be able to use those. So even if we have the big one, as long as they don't have to tow and can get to the pits, we won't see too many cars out of this race.
Yeah, well, with 3 fast repairs and 100 laps, like you said, even if we've got a tow, there's going to be opportunities to get that lap back. There's going to be some cautions. 3 fast repairs probably means that guys maybe you're going to take a few more chances. You got 3 free cars, so yeah, you're likely to take more chances, which tends to lead to more cautions, but also gets guys back on the lead lap when when they get down there. So I would imagine that at the end of this 100 laps, we'll probably still have pretty close to a full field and a lot of guys in it and ready to compete for that victory.
Yeah, and that is the key here to cautions. If there's one caution, typically you're going to have some people go a lap down. So a second caution, the drivers up front that are leading the race, they don't want to see one. The guys that are a lap down, they want to see one. So then you have a split field here as to what they want to see. It's that old saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Well, same thing goes with cautions. With a caution, for some people, it's a good thing. For some people, it's a bad thing. The question is, will we have that first one, and when will it happen, and how many cars will be involved? So technically 3 questions there. But that is really what we're going to be looking for, is that big one here tonight. Will we have it? When will we have it?
Yeah, I can't tell you when we'll have it. We can guess, and this could go either way, right? With 3 fast repairs, guys could be out there trying to do some aggressive moves, feel things out, get up to the front, because you don't have to worry about finding yourself out of the race. So that would be one way to go. The other thing is, with 100 laps, that's a long time. So a lot of times a race will be just, let's just cruise around the track. Let's get through these first green flag runs, and we'll start racing here with about 20 or 30 to go. So we could see a scenario where we just get, everybody just kind of falls in line and starts eating away at some laps. So hard to say when the first one's going to be. A lot of these guys haven't raced with each other before, so when we talk about super speedways, one of the keys we always talk about is predictability. You've got to be predictable, and you've got to be able to predict what the guy next to you, in front of you, outside you, all those guys are going to do, because there is no time to react. You have to see things coming at you and be able to react ahead of time. So, all those come into play. Supers, how many are going to be in it? Well, if we've got a big pack, then a lot of guys are going to be in it. If this thing spreads out and we get a bunch of little packs running around together, then maybe we won't get so many. If I had to guess, I'd guess we'll see one here pretty quick as these guys start feeling each other out, and it'll probably get quite a few cars, and then things will settle down, and we'll probably get some long runs. But that's just a guess.
Yeah, this will be interesting here, as people are starting to fill in here. I think just about everyone is here so far. And looking at TeamSpeak here, I definitely see more than 10. So we definitely have some of both leagues in here. So this is going to be interesting. We'll see. Not sure who is with who. Actually, we could probably tell by by their name who is with what team and who's not. So we'll try to keep an eye on that. Hopefully these guys have a special paint job here. I know Randy Post himself does have a new paint job that will indicate which league he is with. But that could be a struggle here tonight for us to figure out who is with what league, if these guys don't have some way to kind of signal with a paint job for us as to who's with who.
Yeah, that's definitely going to make things a little bit tough on us. We don't know these guys yet. We're not familiar with them. KR's done some broadcasts with these guys in the past, but I think Randy's about the only one that I'm even familiar with here, and he was probably the only one I could have guessed anyways. So
I know the 43 at Cody is.
Yeah, so we're gonna just play it by ear. It was kind of the same thing with the points when we heard the explanation from Randy there. It sounds like this thing just kind of got thrown together, and this is just a fun deal, right? Couple guys running both leagues and buddies with each other, and they said kind of, hey, what the heck, let's do something like this. So it doesn't look like I see any kind of identifiers on the paints, and we're not even sure how they're going to determine which team wins.
Yeah, and that will be a little bit of interesting factor to find out who they determine wins. But at the end of the day, the person I'm calling the winner is the one that crosses the line first. So that will be your race winner. If they do a points thing and they determine who is the overall winner, it's kind of the way I see it. This could be just based off winner, but we do, anyone that's ever ran track, cross country, knows it could go like that. It's based off of average finishing position, or where you finish, and they total up points. And the higher you finish up, the more points you get, or less points. And whoever, I think it's with the less points, wins. But that's something we'll be looking for here to see how it plays out. But regardless of where everyone finishes, we will talk to the top three, assuming we can get them in here into the booth. But that being said, we have about 3 minutes to go. And do you have a way, I don't know if you can, I know I can't, to see what the fuel is here? Are they running 100% fuel here?
Hang on, let me look. Let's see. I do not see any fuel restrictions listed, so it looks like we've got full fuel.
Well, that being said, then, we're going to assume this thing goes green. You being the racer side of things here, with the full tank of fuel here, 100%. Roughly how many laps are we going to be able to do here before we start seeing people come down for pit stops?
Oh, it's been a while since I've run the super speedways. Off the top of my head, I'm going to say a roughly 40 laps, give or take a couple laps, maybe 42, somewhere in there, on a tank of fuel.
That will shake things up if it stays green. And of course, with the drafting, some of these guys may be able to stay out a lap, or maybe two, determining how much of a draft they are doing, or less, depending on how much fuel they're using. But I would expect they're running 46s right now. That's probably with drafting. Usually around qualifying, I believe they're around 49. So that's quite a bit faster here with the draft. So here in about a minute and a half, we'll see what qualifying is going to be like, who everyone's going to stack up with. That's going to be a factor here, I think, too, is where do you qualify? And that's going to be a huge factor, because you could be beside your teammate instead of behind them or in front of them, and it's going to be harder to work with each other right off the bat.
Yeah, you've got two giant teams here, and this is, maybe some of these guys aren't even used to working with teams, so it should be interesting, and it's important when you're working with teams to, if you want to be effective there, let's try to qualify together. Can we qualify up front? Let's do it. Let's just not take times and we'll start in the back or whatever. But you'd like to be around friendlies, guys that you can run with, guys you're familiar with. Like we said, you want to be around predictable people, and the guys that you run with week in and week out, or your teammates or whatever, these are the predictable guys.
Yeah, they definitely are, and that's who you're going to want to be around. We have 30 seconds left here in practice. We are going to step away, get to the national anthem, and then we will be right back, as they'll be on the track for qualifying on their warm-up laps. Again, we'll be right back here in just a few moments right after the national anthem.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, we are back here, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, qualifying is underway, so we're going to jump down there really fast to these drivers as we'll pull up your driver bar so you know who we are watching here tonight. And once some drivers put in times, we'll pull up your qualifying times. We are watching Justin Wilson right now in the 58 as he is coming out, and it looks like he is going to be completing his first lap here any minute. But again, a lot of drivers here tonight. These guys are just getting started here, as he will put in a time. Actually, that was his warm-up lap, so this is his first lap right here.
Yeah, so when we talk about warm-up laps, when you go out there and you run to qualify here, the super speedways, you don't really have a lot of acceleration. It's all about getting speed. So you run all the way around the outside of that track for your out lap. As close to the wall as you can get. You try to minimize your turns, be as smooth on the wheels, absolutely polishable. You do it for your first time lap. The whole goal is to build speed and not scrub any off. And then your money lap there, the one that you're going to count, you get down there, right down there in that double yellow line, which you'll see here in a minute when he comes back around again. He'll turn down there and try to stick those tires right on those, right next to that line. You don't want to get on there, the bumps will mess you up. And just turn as smooth of a lap as you can down there against that line, as you see him go down there now.
And he does, puts in a 50.267. So we will pull up your qualifying times here, so people have started to put in times. And it looks like, again, if we get the name right, that is Cody Trudel Cote is, I believe, how you pronounce that. Again, I was told, but I kind of forgot, so hopefully we are going to get that right tonight. But Mitch Beaver, one that we know, he's going to take the pole so far here with a 49.669.
Yeah, 49.669. Nice lap by Mitch Beaver. And just as we start congratulating him, I think we've got somebody else that just jumped to the top of the board with a 49.439. Chase Berry. Wow, that's a heck of a lap.
And right as you say that, then Jim Ott took it with a 49.408. And before I could get to him, Justin Wilson takes it with a 49.348, and he's going to get beat as well.
Yeah, we've got Matthew Kleinschmidt up there now with a 49.292. So these guys are they're all starting to lay down those money laps, and we've got some pretty good times ranging from 49.2s. You know, up through a lot of guys 49.2s, 49.4s, a couple 49.3s. So we've got a lot of guys right there in that area.
Yeah, and we talked about it earlier. We expected to see some 49 times, but during the race, we expect to see, 46s, maybe low 47s. But these guys will run a lot faster once they get in the draft. It looks like Donovan Ranta is going to take second in that 420 machine. And again, we'll try to figure out who is with what club the best we can. But I know some of these guys will probably have their logos on the car, so we'll be looking for that. Again, it looks like everyone has pretty much taken all their laps. Chase Galvin and Greg Floyd have not taken times, so it'll be interesting here. You know, normally you don't want to, some people don't want to take a time, but that is interesting here, knowing that this is, you're going to need all the cars you can to be out front helping push to get your league to the front.
100 laps. There's plenty of time to get up front. I honestly think starting in the back might, yeah, might be the smart strategy. I don't know. I mean, we'll find out. But there's no rush to be up front. But one thing we know about super speedway racing is being in the middle can be a dangerous place. So, you know, if you're not going to be up front, then why not get somebody you're capable of running with and want to run with and know that they'll work with you and go to the back and run together back there.
That is very true. And that being said, it is a time to get to the grid as they are getting started. So, Jeff, you want to run through our first about 3 or 4 rows? We'll go through 4 rows, and then I will finish this off here for tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So starting on the pole position, number 1, Matthew Kleinschmidt with the 49.291. So finally we talked about a guy that didn't get beat there. Outside row 1 in the 420 car of Donovan Renta. Starting in 3rd position is the 44 of Brandon Morris. In P4, we have the 350 of Alex Kinsler. In P5, we've got the 58 car of, or the 58 truck of Justin Wilson. In P6, we've got the 66 of Scott Leitner. And in P7, we've got the 54 of Randy Post, who's, we know what league he's in. And in P8, we've got the 3 truck of Jim Ott.
In P7 is going to be Derek Watson. P10 is going to be Jeffrey Meiser. I think that's right, Meyer. We'll definitely clarify if we can. In row 6, P11 is going to be Chase Berry. P12 is going to be CJ Gates. Row 7, P13 is going to be Cody Trudell Cote. And P14 is going to be Mitch Beaver. Row 8 is going to be Roy Atchison. Again, we do know where he is. He is the other owner of the other league, so we do know what league he is with. P16 is going to be Chase Galvin. And rounding out the fields here tonight in P17 is Greg Floyd. So only 17 of the 20 drivers here that were scheduled. So fields a few cars short, but for the most part, everyone is here. The question is, which league is short drivers?
Yeah, good question. I was watching these guys pull off pit road, and I did see that there were a couple of guys with Randy Rapp banners, but not enough of them for us to know that the whole team's running those. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We might be able to tell if we looking at TeamSpeak. They are divided here in TeamSpeak, so there actually is a Atchison Motorsports down there. So looks like for the most part, I believe we have more Randy's Rapp Super Speedway Series drivers than we do Atchison Motorsports Series drivers.
Yeah, that was a good catch by you there. It looks like we've got, from Atchison Motorsports, I'm going to say we've got Roy Atchison in the 88 truck. We've got Jeff Meyer in there, who I see as the 50 truck starting in P3. We've got Jim Ott, the 3 truck. And we've got Justin Wilson in the 58 truck. And then we've got Chase Berry. All on that team.
Do indeed, and there's the green flag again. You know, you might be used to these cars really flying off the gate or out of the gate, but that's not happening here. These trucks take a little bit of time to get going, but we are racing here on lap 1 of 100. These guys just got to take their time, relax, and put together a long green flag run. As right now we are just getting started.
Yeah, obviously we've got a super speedway series here, so we've got some guys that are, these guys run super speedways every week, and we already see some aggressive pushing there on the inside row out of the 13 and the 44 of Matthew Kleinschmidt and Brandon Morris, who I believe are both on the super speedway, Randy's Rapp Super Speedway
we got
series.
the 50 going around. A caution's already out, and we were just about to talk about Randy Post, but it looks like the 50 of Jeffrey Meyer going around, and he had some help. So let's go back and take a look. Didn't mean to cut you off there, Jeff.
Oh, all good. I caught that too, and I'm trying to get back and see what happened myself.
Let's see what happened here. Again, that was the 50 of Jeffrey Meyer as He just got spun there, it looked like. I'm not sure. He was on the high side, but he got spun on the bottom. So he may have decided to come back down, and I believe that is exactly what happened. Yep. Looked like he tried to come back down and get to the inside lane, and, well, that spot was filled.
Yeah. that definitely looks like that's what happened again. We're not down there in those trucks, so we try not to assign fault, but, you know, from where we're sitting at, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, again, like you said, we're not the prosecutor, we're just a witness, and that's what we saw. It does indeed. We're looking here from the spotter view, and you can see a better angle. He thought he was clear, and his spotter may have told him it was clear, but by the time he got down there, that spot was not quite big enough for that truck. And the good news is, I don't think he got into the wall, so barely got into it, so he should be able to get his damage fixed and come back out again. He does have those 3 fast repairs. But I didn't expect too many people to come down pit road, as they're not. We do have some takers in the back, though.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the back, why not top up the field, get some tires? You're going to go back out in the back. I thought maybe we might have a guy or two out of the middle of the pack that decided they wanted to go run in the back and just pit to get, you know, to get moved to the back. But there's no reason, you know, for race strategy other than just why not, you know, to pit right now. I don't even know that we've got a full lap at speed yet. So.
Yeah, and I do want to point out here, before we go green again, I was just about to mention it whenever the caution came out. Randy Post in the 54, he did not start. He actually came out of pit road a lap down, so this is a good caution for him. He'll get his lap back, but for some reason or another, he did not grid up. Maybe he was working on something there, but he did miss the start, so this caution is a good thing for him.
Well, you know, he's one of the organizers here. He put this together. He's doing some admin in here, and you know, there's just it can get busy. Good chance he just got busy doing something there at the beginning of the race and couldn't make the grid. Took care of it, and so yeah, I mean, this will get him back there on the lead lap, and you know, we'll get a few of these resets throughout the race tonight.
Yeah, definitely gonna need it. Again, we talked about it in the pre-race show. You know, usually when a caution comes out, it's beneficial for somebody and it's going to hurt somebody. Usually it hurts the person that's out front leading. However, it's too early in the race for it to really hurt anybody. But it definitely was beneficial to people, or at least one person anyway. So we'll see here as right now they are single file, so it looks like the lights should go off this time, I do believe. As we'll see if they do indeed go off. No, they're not. So we're going to take at least 2 more laps around this track. It is a huge track to go around at pace speed.
Yeah, 65 miles an hour at, I'm not sure what I think it's 65 miles an hour for, you know, 2.5 miles here. That is a long time of pacing, and most of our cautions here last 4 or 5 laps. So, you know, you can lull yourself to sleep there driving around the track here at pace speed waiting for the green flag to come out, and occasionally we even see some accidents, guys run into each other, things like that, not paying attention because it's real easy to just lose focus here running that slow on this track for that long.
It is indeed, not to mention the fact that it's nighttime out there, so you know, I'm not sure if they have the lights on in their sim rigs or whatever they're in. But it's night there. If you got the lights off, or some of these people may be in a VR headset, you can really get immersed into it. And like you said, just kind of nod off. I know racing in real life, I've nodded off before. Hopefully, I don't remember ever doing it on a racetrack, but I have done it sitting in a race car. So, you know, sitting there this slow, you know, it'd almost be like not moving because, you know, you're so much faster under race speed. So it could get interesting. Hopefully nobody runs over anyone under the caution, but again, we should get the 1 to go here. And, you know, they're going to get double file again. They take so long to get going. It takes nearly a lap, if not 2, to really get up to speed here.
Absolutely. You know, once we start getting up there, you know, you can play a little bit of draft games there and maybe get up to speed a little bit. sometimes you can make some pretty good moves while everybody's still getting up to speed. Critical on these restarts that you get a good jump, and if you can, hopefully you can tuck the guy ahead of you. You can tuck right in there with him. There's no advantage to getting the early jump as the leader and putting a gap in there, because all that's liable to happen is when these guys start catching a little draft is they'll run you over.
Yeah, they're definitely going to. The jump, you could jump to start here, like you said, it's not worth it. Especially, if you've got your teammates behind you. If you do, you're just going to leave them stranded there as well, and give the advantage to the other people. Whether you're on the inside or the outside lane, one of them will get a run, and they will get by you. And we talk about it. Randy Post was lucky he got back on. If he had not been able to get up to the pack and get his lap back, he would have gone another lap down, because when you've got a group of 10 to 12 cars in a line versus one car, they will come by you like a freight train, and you really have no choice but to let them by.
Yeah, you're as a solo car, you're 10, 20 miles an hour slower. I mean, it's a significant difference. That's how much more speed you've got to draft. We've seen that with 3 seconds of faster lap times. So the closer these cars are to each other and the straighter the line, the faster they'll go. So the more cars you have closer together, the faster they are.
Yeah, it definitely is very true. And that will do it. Pace car diving off here, the Porsche tonight, as there it is. Green flag is back racing again. For anyone just tuning in with us, you are watching the Randy's Rap Super Speedway Series versus the Atchison Motorsports Xfinity Series. But they are running trucks here tonight, and this is a kind of a league match, grudge match, whatever you want to call it, just for fun. These guys work with each other. We heard our admins in each other's league. At least one of them is in the other league, and that's how all this got started. But right now we have 17 cars on the track, and we've only had one caution.
Yeah, we had Matthew Klangschmidt got a pretty good start out there. It was an interesting restart about 3 rows back. We saw the 82 truck get shuffled outside, and they ran 3 wide for a little while. So Derek Watson, not sure what happened there, but he got shuttled outside the 3 truck there and lost a few positions and had to run 3 wide there for a little bit.
He did indeed have to run 3 wide, and they're a double foul right now. And it looks like the 66 of Scott Leitner. He is kind of all by himself there. He does have cars in front of him, behind him, but it looks like they've kind of fallen off his back bumper, and they might be catching him here in a second. But again, when you're that far spread out, that's going to give a lot of momentum to the outside lane, because they have those cars in a row, and they can make something work. So, that's the key here. You've got to be as close as you can, but you can't get so close that you actually spin them. So there's an art to it. And you think, we talk about it all the time, people just full throttle out here. That's not what it is. You actually have to use the brake here.
Well, to your point there, we saw the outside line get a little bit of a run there, but we saw the 4th car in line, the 1 truck, back off there a little bit, so the outside line just didn't get that run to kind of blow by. Had that 1 car sucked up, and maybe even a 5th car caught there, they would have blown by. As for running the brake, yes. So if we talked about the car there that's got the big gap behind it, like where you see the 1 right now on the outside line, he's actually going to get a lot of draft off that 3. There's a big enough gap there that the air is coming down and hitting the rear spoiler of that 3 truck a little bit, going to slow it down. And he'll suck up to that, and he'll be faster, right? They're running full throttle, but you're going to be faster because you're not breaking that air. And he's either going to have to drag the brake or let out a little bit. As you see him kind of start to suck up there, he's either feathering the throttle or dragging the brake a little bit. Those are typically the 2 techniques you use. I tend to drag the brake myself.
Yeah, again, that tend to be what I would do here, is drag the brake a little bit. There's so many things going on here. You've got to make sure you keep the truck steady. How are you not going to run over the car or truck in front of you, depending on what you're racing? It's not just about going fast and turning left here at Daytona or Talladega. There's a lot of stuff these drivers have to process, and there's a reason. We've had that 1 caution, but these guys are so close, and we haven't had another one. They're good at what they do. Again, that is the whole point behind these leagues. You get the best drivers, and you throw them in there, and they race. They may not always be like the peak level drivers, but they're good drivers, and they're showing it here tonight with this little bit of a grudge match.
Yeah, interesting thing going on here. It looks like the 66 truck there of Scott Leitner. He's a little bit reluctant to get up on the bumper of the 44 that's early in the race, and before him it was a 58. So we've seen guys kind of bail out of line of that outside line, and I'm guessing it's because they without him sucking up, it's going to be hard to really get a lot of momentum on that inside line. So we see the outside line forming up a lot better. We've seen guys jumping up there, and we'll see if they can get it going here this early.
Yeah, and again, we see the 420 is out front right now. That is Donovan Ranta. He's out front, but will he dive down? Like we were talking about earlier, I don't think he will. He's got the lead, and he's got the line pushing him. Normally you would see that truck dive down and get right in front of the car on the inside lane, but I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of that here tonight with these guys working together the way they are.
Yeah, so we've got two teams here, and this is kind of a team grudge match. And from what I can see, and again, we can't confirm this, but I believe that the two front row cars, Matthew Kleinschmidt and Donovan Ranta, are on the same team there with Randy's Rwss here. So if that's the case, you got teammates in the outside line. The smart move here is to stay in your lines, and you can control. Nobody's moving anywhere. If you don't dive down, if you're that lead truck in the outside line, you don't dive down, nobody's going to gain any spots unless they start a third line. And it's just too early for that. So you can keep all your cars right where you want them by controlling both front spots on those two lanes.
Yeah, definitely. That is exactly what is going to happen. And we'll see. If they can get enough, I don't think there's really no possible way they're going to get enough cars, because there's only 17 here, to get all the trucks by and do it that way. So now it looks like the inside lane is getting a bit of a run. So that is probably going to be the trend here. Those front two, the 420 and I believe the 44 it is, I know the 13, those two are really going to be trading the lead back and forth for the majority of this run, unless we see a caution and they come out different in the pits. Those are the best seats in the house right now.
Yeah. There's really no reason right now. You've got your teammates up there, and I believe that we've got the first four spots there. Randy's Rwss, you get the first two on each line. You're all teammates. You're used to working with each other. You're used to pushing each other. Hey guys, let's stay up the front as a group. We know how to work with each other. We're predictable, and we'll just control this race.
Yeah, and that is the key, the word there, control. Whoever has control of the front of this field and control of those lanes really has control of the field. Because if those front two won't pass each other, then nobody behind them can. So, it makes you wonder if you might see some bumping going on if you get somebody behind these guys and they're wanting to get to the front from the other league. Will they give them a little shot to the back bumper and be like, look, you need to go or we're going to start bumping you out of the way?
Well, I mean, if they want to get to the front, really their only choice or the only way they're going to get there, right? Wrecking somebody or a shot to the bumper is probably not going to do it. Liable to take out more of your own teammates, is to get a third line going. And it's a little bit harder to get a third line on Daytona. It's not like Talladega. We're a little bit narrower. We can certainly run a third line, but it forces everybody to drive a real straight line, real close to each other. If you see the way that outside line's snaking around right now, I'd be real nervous about starting a third line if I was running in there. In the later stages of the races, though, I'm not opposed to it. But if I'm in the back right now wanting to get to the front, I'd want to see a little bit straighter racing on that outside line before and as I say, three wide, we've got that three truck kind of got hung there in the middle.
Yeah.
And we saw him dive to the inside, and the 66 truck, Scott Leitner, just like we talked about, he really backed up. I think he got on the brakes there, and definitely it was pretty obvious he didn't want to get too close to him. So he's definitely leaving a cushion there on purpose.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a cushion, and I can't tell from far from the angle we're at. It looked like he might have had some damage. He does not have any damage to the back of that truck, but there for a minute I thought he might have had some damage there where someone gave him a shot. And actually, yes, he does indeed. So he has some damage to the back right of that truck. So it looks like he may have got a shot to the back bumper already. Again, I don't think that's going to be too much to slow him down. It's not a whole lot of damage. but there is indeed some damage to that black back spoiler.
Yeah, there's enough damage back there, and it will slow you down if you don't have a truck right there on your bumper. As the 82 goes around right now, and we've got a couple, 2-3 cars collected in the back of that pack.
And surprisingly enough, no caution so far. That is very interesting to not see a caution as the 82 of Derek Watson goes around, and like you said, with several other cars. And there indeed is the caution coming out as your race leader is the 420 of Donovan Ranta. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened to the 82.
Yeah, it looked like he might have just drifted up a little bit, and the 88 car just drove underneath him there, and when he came back down, went around. He took it up to the wall, and you know, it looked like the 88 just kind of made an aggressive move and tried to come inside of him, and you know, it didn't work.
It did not work, because we'll go back here. It looked like there might have been some netcode in there as well, but still, early in the race, for these guys to be getting in, Randy Post almost getting involved in this. He was back there as well. But, you know, some good racing so far. We're on lap 18, so we're coming up on a quarter way done.
Yeah, Randy Post definitely got some contact out of that on the right side there. I believe the 88. So we got the two admins, Roy Atchison and Randy Post, both involved in that. I don't think Randy Post got a lot of damage, but his right front corner there, he took a good shot from the 88 on that.
He did indeed. And, you know, just a bump there spins him around. Again, these trucks are fragile here. You get a little bump and stuff like that can happen. But while we're under caution here, we do have a break in the action. We want to, again, as always, thank everyone for tuning in here to VRN here tonight for this special edition race. This is the RWSS Randy's Rap Super Speedway Series versus the Atchison Motorsports Xfinity Series here tonight, a little battle of the leagues. But we want to thank everyone for tuning in here tonight. Definitely, if you are new here tonight, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't before, and of course hit that thumbs up and let us know, let the sponsors know that you enjoy, that they do what they do to help us be here tonight to broadcast this race. And as always, again, thanks for tuning in here. And we might see if we can get someone in here. Let's see if we can't get Mitch Beaver in here. I know he's from RWSS, and we'll see if we can't get a quick word in with him. Mitch Beaver, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Charles?
Oh, pretty good. Just sitting here, come down as we see you going on pit road. So we see you got it good there. You are in your pit stall here. You're got you on board here with the T&D Rustic Decor on the board camera. But do you have a plan here tonight to try to get to the win, or is this really just a night to work with your league members and see who you can get to the win?
Yeah, I mean, we're always trying to put her up front. We had a little bit of an incident with one of the Atchison racing guys. When the whole pack left pit road there at the beginning of the race, for whatever reason, he brake checked me and the guy behind me, and we had a 3-car pile up, so that kind of put us out of commission. But we got a fresh car now, so I think we might be able to make some moves and work towards the front. But like you said, working with your team is always a good thing. So it's been kind of a fun night, kind of getting to know some of the guys that I don't really know too well that are in our league, and all in all, I'm just happy to be here.
Well, we were kind of curious, or I was anyway. Was there any set group of guys that got picked, or was it kind of a volunteer basis, or how did the 10 guys get picked to be here?
Well, I was probably a favorite, being one of Randy's buddies, but we tried to pick some of the faster guys because we are trying to represent the league as being somebody that can come out and kick some tail. But there were some guys that we wanted to be on board that just weren't available, and so we kind of had to go to the next best thing. And we've got a great group of guys out here tonight. All these guys run really, really well. So I think it's a good deal tonight.
Well, definitely. It looks like you just got the one to go, if I am correct here. So we'll let you go here. Jeff, any one last question for him before we let him go?
I'm just wondering how the racing is out there. I know that on the super speedway stuff, it's nice to kind of know who's around you and what they're going to do.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I think I might have him muted.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
that's my fault.
we'll let you get back. You guys are about ready to go green here.
All right, well, yeah, Mitch, we'll let you get back there. You're double foul, so good luck, and we'll see if we see you in victory lane in the top 3 here after the race.
All right, thanks, Charles, and thanks, Jeff. Sorry I muted you, buddy.
No problem, man.
Oh, that was a quick word with Mitch Beaver. Apologies, he did have you muted there. But either way, we're getting ready to get this thing going once again. Donovan Ranta is going to be the leader for this in that 420 machine. He is one of the Randy's Rap Super Speedway Series. You can see that logo on his hood. So we got the RWSS out front. And again, I'm not sure on the car on the outside or behind him. They don't have any logos there, so we'll just have to kind of wait and see when we talk to these guys.
Yeah, I think, we've got them in the separate rooms here in TeamSpeak, so maybe we can figure it out that way, or at least come close.
That's going to be our best bet here, I think. As again, such slow laps here, but there you can see the pace car is diving off. Green flag is out, and it almost looks like they're not going, and somebody didn't go on the outside, I don't think, as it looked like they may have stacked up there a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of a stack up there on the outside. We've got the 420 of Donovan Ranta on the inside in first place. Justin Wilson, so we got a new player up front. He's pushing him. He's in second right now. And Matthew Kleinsmith, who's been running up front the whole race now, is the third truck on the inside row, and that 3-car breakaway is all up front of that outside row right now.
And I think it was the 350, that is Alex Kinsler. I think he is the one that didn't get going, as I saw someone get into a back corner.
Yeah, he was the one, and he just about got turned there. Looks like somebody clipped his bumper, so nice save by him on that last corner, but he just lost a couple spots. There's a couple guys from the inside, the 50 car of Jeff Meyer and the 88 that was just involved in that wreck. Both made some big moves to get up there in the front row on the outside there.
They did indeed. Looking from the last green flag run to now, as we're on lap 22 of 100, these guys are really kind of spread out a little bit more. They're starting to form up now, but they were a lot more bunched tight earlier on in that last run, as now they're starting to shake it up, and we almost had major contact there, and there it goes.
We're going to have some problems there. A little squirrely. They got each other in the corner there. Looked like that 50 truck was, he got dinged in the corner and was trying to get it straight, and then got dinged again. Him and 88 got into each other there, and
he could not catch a break either. He just got doored heavy after the caution was out. So let's go back and take a look here, as we'll go back to our spotter camera. What happened here? We're going from the spotter camera to see exactly what happened. The 50 did get a shot from the 88, and then I believe, the 88 and the 50 just got together. Again, not sure who you would call the fault there. We won't call it, but regardless, the 50 and the 88 got together, and the 88 ends up upside down. The 50 goes flipping, almost rolling over. The 3's involved. Pretty much the whole back half of that field involved in this caution.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get cars wrecking up front, right? On this, we talked about there really is no time to react. And if there was, there's nowhere to go. So when these guys start turning sideways in front of you, and that's where being in the middle is a rough place to be. You just got to kind of drive through it. Days of Thunder, I guess. Just head for the smoke and hope they miss you.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, that's pretty much all you can do is just try your best to avoid it, and unfortunately a big chunk of those were unable to avoid it, as again they teach you in racing, it pretty much is like they say in Days of Thunder, it is in real life too. Keep your lane unless your spotter tells you otherwise, because especially at a track like this, as banked as it is, by the time you get to the wreck, hopefully it's cleared out of the way. But there is that time when it just keeps building, and it's just bigger when you get there and it's not out of the way.
Well, yeah, we don't have the kind of spotters that are going to tell you how to avoid the wreck. Unfortunately, they don't tell you what's in front of you. But on the high bank of Daytona and some of that, you just go where they're at and hope that they're going to be gone by the time you get there, or maybe you just try to run up by the wall because you know that they're going to slide down.
Yeah, and it's one of those things you just can't avoid. It's racing, and it happens. So you do what you can, and sometimes there's nothing else you can do. As we did see, of course, I'm not sure who that was. Somebody. Hopefully it wasn't any. It looked like not sure what his number was, a 46 maybe, as he was on pit road. I think he's the one that hit the 50, and it almost knocked the 50 clean on his roof. Luckily, he was able to keep it on his wheels. If you land on your roof, you're towing regardless. And here at this track, if you have to tow under caution, you're going at least 2-3 laps down.
Well, either the 50 is towing or he forgot to click his fast repair because he's we know he's going to have to burn one and he's still in the pit. So looks like maybe he's towing there, but hard to say.
Yeah, definitely. He's been there for about 3 minutes now. As excuse me, he is going to go multiple laps down, and there's the one to go. So unless he magically comes out here quickly, he is going to be coming back out once this race goes green again. And again, we talked about it earlier. Once that happens, unless another caution comes out, that is going to kill your night, because these guys are just going to get up to speed and they're going to pass you. And then once they pass you, they're going to keep going and they're going to pass you again in a set amount of laps. It could be 10, 15 laps, whatever. But they will just keep doing that. As you said, without the draft, you're 10, 15, even 20 miles an hour slower.
Oh yeah, you don't stand a chance without the draft. If you're out of the draft, you're just praying for a caution. Now, on a long race like this, you're not too worried because there's a chance to get it back. There's going to be some more cautions. We're going to get, every time we get a caution, we get a lucky dog. Or if we've got 20 laps on, you probably get to stay out there and take a waiver on worst case scenario, and hope that you get another quick caution so you can get your tires that way.
Yeah, and you're right. Right about now, we are on lap 25, so when we take the green flag, we will start lap 26. We will be a quarter of the way done with the race. Still 75 laps to go when they take the green. We still have a lot of laps here, and, some of these guys have already used one, if not two, of their fast repairs.
Yeah, we're definitely, we hit up a lot of fast repairs on that last wreck. And like you said, we're only a quarter of the way through this race. We know that the action is going to heat up as we get close to the end. So, we'll see. Maybe these guys are, going to take it a little easy here now and decide to just cruise around and we'll see what they do here.
They will indeed, as the green flag does come back out. Everybody crossing by the line. And, we talked about him earlier. He missed the start. That is Randy Post. He is up here in second place right now, trying to run down the 420 of Donovan Ranta. But again, he came from all the way in the back, a lap down, and those are two people from the same league here right now, running first and second, leading this field once again.
Yeah, Randy Post, he's up front. We just saw him in the back, a couple of wrecks, a couple of pit stops, and you found him outside there. Found his way to the front of the outside line.
He has indeed. And looking here, we'll check on the 350. I'm not sure. I don't see anyone. Let's see, Alex. That is Alex Keinzler. So I believe he is indeed. He is with the Randy's Wraps as well. So you have 2 or 3 cars from that lead right there in the front. So far, I think for the majority of this race, it's safe to say that Randy's Wraps has been out front for the majority of this.
Yeah, and Randy's Wraps is a super speedway league, so I hate to say it, I don't know, what Roy Atchison's league runs. I'm new to this party, but with the super speedway league, you would expect that these guys, this is what they're good at. This is what they know how to do. It's what they do week after week. Yes, they switch cars, but these guys work with each other in this type of setting every single week. So that I would expect this.
Yeah, definitely something you would expect. They do it again every week. They do this. As contact made between the 16 and the 13. they bounce off of each other, but they keep it going. That was a square-on door slam to both of them. So if that had been a little offset, we might have seen another caution, but a good job of both of them keeping it together.
You know, one thing about these trucks is you get in the cars and you don't hit somebody perfectly square, you're going to send them around. These trucks seem to have a little bit more of a bigger forgiving zone where you can hit somebody maybe not perfectly straight. You still can't hit them in the corner of their truck without probably sending them around, and you got to be real careful in the corners. But the trucks definitely are a lot more forgiving with the contact than the cars are.
Yeah, it definitely is. And again, it's just, you got to be careful, but you don't have to be as careful. So these guys are out here, you know, beating and banging a little bit. You know, you will have some fender stuff, and these guys, it's just, you know, it seems like with the Cup cars, you have to be perfect. Maybe the Xfinity as well, you have to be on your game, as the 16 is going to lose several spots there. That is CJ Gates. But with the Cup cars, you have to be perfect. You can't bump anyone just wrong. Here you have a little bit more give and take, a little bit more forgiveness. So typically it leads to some really good racing. But these guys are really starting to race back here for about 5th position. It's there for a minute. They were 3 wide.
Yeah, the 3 truck looks like he's trying to get around. He keeps trying to, I think, pin the 17 on the inside there and get that 3rd line going. And so now we've got some aggressiveness coming from the inside line as guys are smelling blood and seeking out an opportunity. So here we go, 3 wide, and there we go, wrecking. The 17 car gets sideways and gets into Randy Post, the 54 on the inside line. No caution flag out yet.
No caution, and they keep it going somehow. I'm not sure how, but Randy Post did lose a ton of space there. And looking at chat here as we're watching this front group for Nathan Davis, I am not 100% sure when this series does run. I can find out real quick here. If we'll take a moment here.
Randy said Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern on his interview, but I can't confirm that. I'll let you go ahead and look that up.
That is correct. Thursday night. I know KR has it on the calendar here at 8:30 p.m. So Thursday night, somewhere around 8:30 or 9:30. That's 8:30 Central, so it'd be 9:30 Eastern if that's the time zone you're in, Nate. I can't remember. But again, 9:30 Eastern is what KR has on the schedule there. So, you know, if you're looking to get into that, that is the time to get started for that series. And it's a good series. KR does a good job broadcasting it. These drivers are very clean, as they're proving that right now.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of a breakaway group here too now. After we got through the accident there, we've got looks like a 7-car group there. We've got, I think it's the 82 of Derek Watson there in 8th place, who's lost this group right now, and is kind of. I'm curious to see if he can suck up or not. You get about a 2.5 seconds back, and you lose that draft, but it looks like he's just hanging on. Not sure that he's going to be able to keep this, though, and he'll probably fall back to that next group.
Yeah, he'll fall back to the next group. The question is, if he falls back there, leading that group, we haven't talked about him a whole lot, and that is the 43 of Cody Trudell Cote. We'll see if he can get back with this group. There's 4 cars there, or 4 trucks. That front group has about 8 or 9 trucks, but they are split into 2 rows, so there's a chance they might be able to do something and catch up with them, as this front group is really getting a little anxious up there as contact between the 88 and the 350. Now the 13 and the 88 go beating and banging. Still no caution as they recover from that.
Yeah, they get down there in the apron, they save it. That group that was coming up, the 3 trucks there behind them, gets around safely, and the 88's probably wishing a caution would have come out because he's got a pretty beat-up truck right now. He's been in the middle of the last 2 of these.
He has been, and keep it in mind, that is Roy Atchison. That is the owner of the Atchison Motorsports Xfinity League. So, again, he's got a seriously beat-up truck out there right now, and he'd love to see a caution, as he's only got the 13 to work with, and those 2 got together, so he is not wanting to work with him too well right now as he's trying to get by him.
Yeah, I can't. It looks like maybe he's got quite a bit of wiggle going on, so maybe he's got enough damage there that it's getting hard to drive that truck. You can see that front splitter on his truck is up off the ground in 2 different places, so that's going to let a lot of air into that truck, and maybe even make that rear end want to float around just a little bit more than he'd like.
Yeah, it looks like there he did get in front of him, so maybe it's not he's not wanting to work with him. You talked about it earlier. If that little spoiler back there is jacked up in any way, that it would be harder for someone to push you unless they were right behind you. He may be better at being pushed right now than being a pusher, as he might not be able to suck up to the back of the 13.
Wow, we just had that other group just came flying up on him, man, and a great job by these drivers to check up there and just not end up in a big wad there in the middle of the track. But back to your point there, yeah, when you've got that spoiler kicked up in the air there, it just acts like a big parachute. It wants to catch a whole bunch more air coming over the truck aerodynamically. If you can get a truck right up there on your bumper, they can take some of that air off your spoiler. I mean, that's part of what makes the draft work, and put it over their truck and help you go faster. But with the front end damage there, he may be slow leading too. So, yeah, with the rear spoiler damage, you would think get him out front and get somebody behind him right on his bumper, and we'll keep going. And he goes around again there and gets into the 13.
He does indeed, spinning it around. Still no caution, but again, iRacing won't throw him all the time if he is by himself, as he was, and there goes the caution as it will come out. I have a feeling that was probably admin thrown, as typically iRacing won't throw them if they aren't in the way of any of the cars, as he was in the grass. So I have a feeling an admin probably threw that caution.
I can confirm that was an admin caution. Randy Post threw the caution there. So they've decided to get everybody sucked back up when you get, this few cars spread out that far on this track, and you start getting some cautions. If they don't come back up in front of somebody and pose a threat to the cars going around the track, cautions won't get thrown, and you end up with a bunch of cars laps down, towing, things like that.
Yeah, it will happen, as again, it does stink, but right there we want to mention while we have the caution out, Randy Post throwing the caution. It was the 88, the other league owner that spun, which we want to, typically we wouldn't mention something like that, but we want to because of the fact that this is a league versus league match here, and that shows you that it's just a friendly match. These guys really like each other. They like racing with each other. And that one league owner threw the caution because the other league owner was spun out when iRacing wasn't going to throw it. So just, definitely hear from VRN. I just got mad respect for these guys that, he threw that caution. He didn't have to. iRacing wasn't going to throw it. He didn't have to throw it, but, that's the respect that both of these leagues have for each other.
Well, this is definitely a gentleman's race, so to speak. They're out there to have a good time tonight. 2 leagues. This isn't the grudge match or the steel cage match necessarily that we wanted to make it out to be, just because it makes for a better story for us. Clearly, there's a lot of respect out there, and with the 3 fast repairs and some admin cautions here, these guys are just out there to have a good time and make sure that everybody's in at the end and they can have a good race, good time.
Yeah, they are, and again, they'll get in and use their fast repairs. And keep in mind, it looks like Roy Atchison is out of the race, so I'm not sure if he used all his fast repairs he is just parking it here for tonight. It's unfortunate if he is. He was up there at the front. He was doing a good job most of the race. He was hanging in there, just unfortunately getting tangled up in some messes. Not necessarily of his own doing, but he is the first car technically out of the race right now, as well as Jeffrey Meyer. He is currently sitting on pit road, and he's been there for about 16 minutes.
Yeah, you got to wonder if he just missed a fast repair. A lot of times these fast repairs, you got a little box that you got to check when you're coming in and whether or not you want to use it, and you can set it to default to not have that on. And if you forget to check that before you get in your pit box, you're in trouble. You got to wait for the repairs to get done. You can't turn it on after you pull in the pits and see how much damage you have. You've got to decide before you get in that box.
Yeah, you do. You have to decide before you get in. And it's a simple mistake. You know, we've all made it. You go in there and you just forget to check the box. It royally stinks. But, you know, it's part of it. However, though, Jim Ott out front right now, leading this race in that number 3 machine. He's doing a fantastic job here tonight. If we're looking, he has led 8 laps, but Ranta has led the most laps here, but he is back in 7th position right now.
Yeah, we should, you know, not be surprised that we've had a few different leaders here to this point. We're not even halfway through the race yet. We know that we're going to have to do at least one more green flag pit stop, so expect that to change several times here before this is over tonight. I think we'll have some more leaders too.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that. Again, we always want to remind everyone and thank everyone here tonight, everybody that's tuning in here tonight, especially since this is a brand new channel. Obviously, we are not new to broadcasting. We just branched off here. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. You know, thanks for coming. If you did share the race out there, thanks for sharing it to try to get all your buddies in here as well. So we can have a good showing for these guys. Again, you know, the whole point, we do all of this broadcasting, you know, it's not to make an astronomical amount of money, or any money for that matter. There's really no money in this probably, but we do this for the fans out there that love racing, that want to watch it when they have free time, and for the drivers that want to come back and watch this. That's the whole reason we do this. So thanks everybody for tuning in here tonight. Of course, if you want to see more racing throughout the week, hit the subscribe, and if you like the race, hit that like button.
Yeah, and if you're watching the race right now, feel free to jump in chat. Tell us who you're rooting for. Tell us what you like, what you see out there, and if we get a chance, we'll talk about it. We're live on Facebook. This is our first race live on Facebook here tonight, so we've got the double stream going. We're going to Facebook and we're going to YouTube, so we'll do our best to watch both chats, and let us know what you think.
Yeah, and you know, we don't want to give away too many secrets because it's still in its infant stages, but we do have some big plans. Hopefully, if they work out, coming here to VRN. We were just kind of talking about them here in the chat ourselves, amongst ourselves. So again, a lot of big stuff coming to the channel. So if you want to be here for all of that as we grow and expand to be what we want to be here on Virtual Racing Network, definitely you're going to want to hit that subscribe button. But again, Jeff, you know about it. We don't want to let the cat out of the bag here on the stream, but a lot of big things coming.
Yeah, we've got some big plans. Hopefully, we can bring those to fruition. We've got some great series that are broadcast on this channel, and I think personally, Charles might be the hardest working broadcaster in the business. I'm sure somebody will disagree, but you put some phenomenal stuff out there, so it's great to be in the booth with you here, and a part of this as you get your new channel going here.
Well, definitely good to have you on board. Again, you know, we got to thank you too. You being here for the support role amongst other roles here to help us go. Again, and you know, we want to thank all the leagues. We're picking up this Randy's Rap League. So, you know, for them, Race Corps, Your Own League Northwest, Upper Edge, you know, if it wasn't for the leagues, we wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for these fans, we wouldn't be here. So I want to give a big shout out to them, as again, we are brand new here on the channel, but we're not new to broadcasting, and we're planning on going places. But that being said, these trucks and drivers are planning on going places too, and that's to the start-finish line as the green flag is back out. We're racing here on lap 42 when they get to the line. We are now just about 9 laps away from the halfway point.
Yeah, we're going. We've got the 3-truck Jim Ott leading them on the start here. We've got the 1 truck of Chase Berry doing a fine job of pushing them there, and then on the outside there, we've got the 58 of Justin Wilson, who just made a nice dive down to the the bottom line there to work with Jim Ott there. So now on the outside, it looks like we've got Cody Trudell and set the 420 there of Donovan Ranta. So Donovan Ranta working his way back up to the front.
And the one we haven't talked about in a little bit, that is the 13 of Matthew Punchman. He is back in 9th place right now. So very interesting to see him as far back as he is. As he was your pole sitter here tonight, but he has fallen back thanks to that contact, so we haven't got a chance to talk about him since the thing. Him and the 88 got together. The 88 is out of the race now. Jeffrey Meyer out of the race as well. But the 13 is going to keep going. Will he have enough truck to get to the front? I think he has enough time. I just don't know if he has any damage on there. He probably uses fast repair, but can he get back to the front? I expect to see him up there, though.
Well, 3 fast repairs. I don't recall him getting too many accidents, so I would bet that he's got a clean truck. And, you know, we saw him run up front for quite a few laps there. We know he's got time. I think anybody out there on the track with any fast repairs left still has a chance to win this thing.
Yeah, and just to let everyone know here who has led laps, Ranta has led 22. He has led the most laps here. Ott has led 13. And then there is Kleinschmidt, who has led 8. Those are the only 3 leaders we have had. So we've had 3 leaders here tonight. But we'll pull up our caution graphic here. We've had 4 cautions for 13 laps, 57 to go. We've actually had 6 different lead changes. So those leaders, while we've only had 3 different leaders, they've actually changed hands 6 times here tonight.
Yeah, and that's, you know, we had a couple guys there running on the, you know, we ran 2 lines for quite a while. Now that we've gone to a single line, in these later runs, we're not seeing that, but we saw the 2 lines there earlier on in the race running pretty hard there, switching first and second up quite a bit.
Yeah, they definitely were switching a lot. And you're right, these guys now running a single file. And it makes you wonder who's working with who. As that may answer it right there, as we got some cars branching off to take to the outside. And if my looking is correct, we do have some Randy's Rap Super Speedway on the outside, so I have a feeling that outside lane is going to be the Randy's Rap, and the inside is probably going to be the Atchison Motorsports. Well,
we know Jim Ott's with Atchison Motorsports holding that inside line, and you know, as soon as we saw what was it, the 43 of Cody Trudell and the 13 of Matthew Kleinschmidt get up front, we saw 3 Randy's Raps trucks pull right up in front of them. So it looked like these guys had a plan there, and they're getting formed up on the outside again. We got Randy Post out there with them, and we've got, what, 5 Randy's Raps there on the outside line trying to work together.
We are indeed, and keep in mind, you really can't maybe tell it here on the stream, but we have the software to let us know. These guys are doing 195 up to 206 miles an hour around this track. You know, we talk about it all the time. We've seen a somewhat of a big one that wrecked a bunch of the back of the field. We haven't seen it up front. Hopefully we don't. But again, these guys are racing really hard, really fast, and the slightest mistake could cost them dearly. But right now, these guys are doing a fantastic job here at almost 200 miles an hour around this 2.5 mile track.
Yeah, 200 miles an hour. And, you know, if you look at the first 2 trucks there, I mean, their bumpers are just kissing there. You know, there's no view. If you're a guy and you're right up on somebody's bumper and you're sitting in that truck, you can't see anything. You can't even hardly see the corner coming up. Really, all you see is a big spoiler in front of your face. So this is incredibly difficult. I personally believe this is the hardest form of oval racing out there. This super speedway stuff looks easy, but it's not. And doing it for 100 laps here at these crazy speeds in these trucks. Hats off to these guys for still cutting it up here this late in the race and not backing off here at all.
Yeah, and we've talked about it before here on the broadcast. You know, a racer's best asset is a short memory. You know, it's more true in real life racing, but, you know, it kind of comes over here too. You know, these guys remember, okay, we got 3 wide before, we got 2 wide before, and it caused a big wreck. So a short memory is a good thing here, because if you had a long-term memory and you could remember every little thing that happened, you probably wouldn't put the chances that you, or take the chances you do again. And, you know, that time it may work. So, you know, you've got to take these chances sometimes and go 3 wide, or, you know, try to go to the outside lane. One time you may fall to the back, the next time you may go to the front. So you've got to try things, and you can't let the failure, you might say, of the last time deter you from doing it again.
Well, I think I'm going to say it a little bit differently, because I like a long-term memory. I think that when you run these super speedways, the more you know about the habits and the way the guys around you react, the better you're going to do. The more, when you see a situation starting to happen, knowing what that guy next to you in front of you is going to do, allows you to make better decisions and make an adjustment on the fly. So I want to have that long memory, but I also want to try to figure out maybe why something didn't work that last time, right? I don't want to be afraid to try something just because it didn't work before. You know, I want to use that memory and figure out why, right? Maybe we didn't get in that third line with the right guys, or maybe one guy was moving around too much in the middle line to get that third line going. So next time I want to start that third line, I'm going to scout to see if I can't find that guy in my vision and see where he's at. Is he right up there where we're going to end up with him in the middle? Because then I'll wait, you know, or is he back behind us or something? Yeah, let's do this.
Well, that is a good, valid point as well. And again, you know, we talk about it. You know, I have one perspective, you have another. That's, you know, that's part of racing too. These guys have different thoughts about how they want to do stuff on the track too. So that's a good point about, you know, they may be thinking one way, and the driver next to him or behind him may be thinking about something else, doing it a different way. So, you know, that could play out in the track here to see how it works out. So, you know, again, it just talks about the different mindset of each driver, and that they mesh so well together here as we're on lap 51 100. So we are officially halfway done with this race, and we've only had a few cautions and a couple of cars out. Jeffrey Meyer is back. He's still on pit road, but he did come back, and Roy Atchison is still out of the race.
Yeah, and speaking of a little bit of upkeep here, you know, we've got those 3 cars from the Atchison series here on the inside row. The 58, the 1, and the 3, man, they're doing just a fantastic job working with each other and keeping Randy's Rwss guys there on the outside at bay. So wondering if one of these guys might consider, if they get another good run on there, bouncing up here to this outside line and maybe trying to control both lines. Are they worried about, you know, ending up in that sucker hole where the whole outside line goes around them?
Yeah, and I want to take a look if we can here at the 54. No, I thought that was, not the 54, was the 43, I believe that is, of Cody Janelle Cote, as he is on the inside lane. I do believe he is actually with Randy Trapp, so he's on the inside helping the competition here tonight. So he's looking for a chance probably to get up to that inside lane. He just has yet to be able to find one.
Well, I don't know that he's helping the competition, because he's not getting up on anybody's bumper. As a matter of fact, he's preventing anybody else from getting up on that bumper. So whether or not he's doing it on purpose, he's actually helping slow that inside lane down right now by keeping that gap and not allowing these guys to get 4 or 5 cars there bumper to bumper on that inside lane right now.
Yeah, it is. He isn't doing it. And again, like you said, he may not even be doing it on purpose. You know, he just might not be able to suck up to the back bumper. He is definitely going to prefer working with his own guys. But again, that's something we talked about in the pre-race show. You know, you would prefer to work with your own guys, but you know, at the end of the day, you want to get the win too. So come crunch time here in a little bit, when we get to those 20 laps to go, there is a caution.
With the leaders there, yeah, Jim Ott, not sure who was leading that outside row there at the second. I thought it was the 44, but came right down on top of him there. Didn't quite have him clear.
Well, we'll go back and look here. I think it might be easier to tell you who was not involved in that than who was involved. We will go back and take a look.
We got all of our leaders there, yeah. The 44 came down and just caught a little bit of the corner of Jim Ott, and The 2 liters got everybody up front there. Pretty much got hit.
Hey, it did indeed. We'll actually take a look here from the spotter. Yeah, the 3 gets into, I believe it was a 420. And it was on from there. Chaos ensued. I guess we could probably say that was the big one here tonight.
That was definitely the big one. Jim Wilson there, or Justin Wilson, might have gotten through unscathed. It looked like he got a little of a bump. I didn't see a whole lot of damage. Somehow, I think the cars just parted and he might have driven through that thing. That would be absolutely amazing if he got through that.
Yeah, I was sitting there looking at his car. If we look at the left front fender, he does have a little bit of damage, but for as much chaos that did ensue, he got through fairly clean, as well as maybe the 3 got through pretty good as well.
Yeah, I just went into his cockpit view, and he got quite a bit of damage there on that left front fender and some on the right front fender. So he did not make it unscathed. Everybody in that whole lead pack got damage.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. But Jim Ott is the race leader right now, and somebody, I'm not sure who it is, there's actually a couple of them. Somebody is barbecuing on pit road right now, as there is a ton of smoke on pit road, and I believe that may be Randy Post that's smoking as well. That may be him that's smoking, period, as he is letting off a ton of smoke. But everyone's on pit road right now. Right now your leader is Derek Watson, who did not come down pit road. He's got 16 laps on those tires right now.
Yeah, 16 laps. The way we've been going, there's a good chance he's going to see another caution before we run out of fuel. So it's probably not a bad move to stay out there and cycle up front.
That's definitely not a bad call. We'll see how it all plays out. Again, and we were talking about it earlier in the pre-race show, that they run faster laps under race conditions than they do or with the draft than they do. So, spinning the tires really isn't that big of an issue here. It can be, but, some tracks where you're built for speed, you are built for speed here, or acceleration, my bad. You're built for more speed here, so you don't just hammer the gas and take off. So spinning the tires on old tires isn't as big of an issue as, you slowly get up to speed. So I don't think those old tires will cause them to spin them or spin out or anything like that. So, again, like you said, a very safe call, because we'll probably have another caution.
I'm pretty sure we'll have another caution, assuming all these guys came out here with their new trucks and still have a fast repair left. There's no reason not to go for it there. And like you said, these things are geared so tall right now here on the super speedway. To get those 200-mile-an-hour speeds you were talking about, you've got to have a super tall gear in this thing. So they're just kind of dog slow there on the start line. You can just hammer on that throttle and not worry about spinning these things out.
Yeah, and again, we have probably about 2 laps here before we go green again. It seems as good a time as any to go crank it up style here on VRN. So, for everyone out there, we got about 8 likes here on the stream so far. We're going crank it up, so if you are ready for some crank it up as we turn the volume up and we go silent for a lap or two, definitely hit that thumbs up, because we are going to go loud and proud here on VRN, crank it up style, and we're going to let you get up and close with these drivers or these cars. So this is going to be fun here. We love crank it up, and it's going to be a fun one. It looks like we got about a lap. So, again, also let us know in chat for anyone that's out there before we go crank it up style. Do you have a favorite driver or favorite league? Who are you rooting for here tonight in the chat? Are you rooting for the Randy's Rap Super Speedway Series or the Atchison Motorsports Series? So, again, let us know in chat. And Death Vader, thanks for letting them know when each series start. Definitely good if you're looking to get into either one of these leagues. There you have the information right there. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in here tonight. For anyone that's just joining, we are fixing to go radio silent. Looks like the next time by, as we are going to go crank it up. The lights going out this time. So one lap to go, and we are going to crank the volume up on these beasts here at Daytona International Speedway. and we are going to let her rip here for 1 or 2 laps here. So again, we will be right back here after Crank It Up. All right, Jess, they are on the back stretch right now. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Again, you are watching the Randy's Rap Super Speedway Series versus the Atchison Motorsports Xfinity Series. We are going Crank It Up this time by. They're coming into turn 3 right now. So as soon as they take the green, we're going Crank It Up style here on VRN. So we're going to sign off just for a minute here from the mic, and we'll be right back once we come back here in about a lap or 2 from Crank It Up. So we'll be right back. We're going to go silent, and you're going to hear these cars rev it up here. So again, we'll be right back after Crank It Up. Alright, we are back here, Crank It Up style here on VRN. We do love it. Gives us a little bit of a break to get a drink and get refreshed, but we are live once again here on the mics at Daytona International Speedway. Jim Ott still out front, and they have really gotten spread out since the restart.
Yeah, they have. We've got Jim Ott and Justin Wilson out front there. These guys have been working together for probably most of the second half of this race so far. And just doing a terrific job. I think the only one they're missing right now is Chase Berry. The three of them been working together earlier, but they're actually working the high line right now.
They are indeed, as we are on lap 61 of 100. We'll take a look here again. 5 cautions, 40 laps ago. We've had 11 lead changes with 5 different leaders, I do believe. 6 different leaders, actually. So we've had 6 different leaders, 11 lead changes here as we have 40 to go. This could get interesting here. Hopefully we don't see any more cautions. These guys don't want to see any. They want to run this thing out. And you never know. We may see one more. We may not see any. We just don't know. Here at Daytona, anything's possible.
It is, but it is Daytona, and racing gets tight, especially towards the end. I suspect we're going to see a few more cautions before this is over.
Yes.
Also, shout out to Death Vader there in live chat there on YouTube. He says he runs in both of these leagues, so I'd like to know from him. I'd like one name from him who I should keep an ide on from each league if you could give it to me if he's still listening.
Well, it definitely would be cool to know which one he thinks is the, the favorite in each league, since he does race in both. And we would say, are they still in the race? But everyone's in here except for Roy Atchison, who is out of the race. As we talked about Jeffrey Meyer earlier, he's back out on the track. He's in 17th, 36 laps down. But again, he is back in the race. So, you know, a great job for him in that 50 after taking a serious beating early in the race. But he's back onto the track doing a fantastic job there to come back from those struggles. But again, it just shows to show how much these guys want to race. They don't care how many laps there are. They just want to be behind the wheel.
Yeah, hey, something to point out here. We were just talking about the one truck of Chase Berry, and we've talked earlier about losing the draft. Well, right now, the one truck of Chase Berry has lost that draft, and he has fallen like a rock. He's, I think just about the time you started talking there, he was about 4 seconds back, and now he's 9.5 seconds back. So he's dropping like a rock here. He
is indeed falling quite far back here, and I would imagine they will probably catch him within the next 10 laps or less. You know, as we're looking at his speeds of the one, he's doing 180 right now, and he's topping out. These guys ahead of him are almost doing 200. And you said it, 20 miles miles per hour faster. So they will catch him. As we'll look at his last lap time, he ran a 49.2. These guys are running 45s.
Yeah, so, you know, you're talking 4 seconds difference there, 45 seconds a lap. I mean, you've basically got 11 laps, and you're going to go a lap down. So when you're that guy, and I've been that guy, man, you want to caution, because there's nothing worse than driving solo laps around Daytona, knowing that this field's going to eat you up in about 5 laps.
Yeah, you know, and the best description you can say for being alone here at Talladega, you know, it's kind of like running a Sunday cruise all by yourself on the track. You're just out there kind of cruising around, and then all of a sudden that wild banshee motorcycle gang comes flying by you, going 90 miles an hour when you're doing like 30, and they just come by you, they swallow you up, and they keep going. They don't even look back.
That's actually a pretty darn good analogy there. That's exactly what it's like. You know, you got the big radius on this track. You can drive it by yourself forever without lifting, and you don't have to pay that much attention. You can zigzag along the track, although you're a little bit slower, but you're all by yourself, so it doesn't matter. And then you got this big old pack of like angry motorcycle gang or hornets, whatever you want to liken it to, and they just come flying by, and you're up there. Well, they fly by you so fast, it's dang near impossible to even catch that group.
Yeah,
and just staying out of the way.
Yeah, that's your best bet, is to stay out of the way. As it looks like we have Death Vader in there saying that Cody Trinell Cote is a favorite and to win here, and he's actually out front. Now he's in second, but he'll trade it back and forth. So he's out there battling for the lead, as he is being shown as your leader right now. But again, you know, when you've got this many laps left, being the leader really doesn't mean that much.
No, it doesn't. But, you know, I've been watching Cody come through the field. When we first started watching him, he was in the back running with the 46 truck. I think, looking at their paint schemes, they're probably teammates. But we saw them in the back of the field, and we saw them coming through the middle. We saw them we saw Cody be part of that outside line there a couple runs ago when we had Randy's wraps all lined up on the outside, and now we see him leading this thing. So he's a guy that's come through the field slowly, methodically, worked his way up front, been watching him. I'd say that's probably a pretty good guy to keep an eye on. He looks like he knows what the heck he's doing out there for sure.
Yeah, he definitely does. He's got the 17 pushing him big time. And again, that is the key here. You know, it's most tracks that we just keep talking about it. You want to be fast. You want to dominate the race. Well, this isn't one of them. You're not going to be fast unless you have somebody with you. So, you know, teammates, partners, friendships, all of that comes into play in here, as you're going to need every bit of the help you can get if you want to get out front. As it looks like here, We thought we were going to have the leaders catching somebody here shortly. Thought I saw someone in front of them, and they may be about ready to start picking off some people.
Yeah, we've got the 50 at Jeffrey Meyer, who's just about to get 8 up here.
Yeah, we'll look here if we can see. Can't quite see the leaders behind him, but yeah, there they are. They are coming. And, you know, this is where it really gets interesting for these guys. You know, I'm sure the 50 of Jeffrey Meyer is going to know where to go. And they may be radioing him where to go on the track. You know, go high, go low. But it doesn't matter even if you say, hey, go high or go low, and you are talking to that driver. It's still a scary thought knowing that you're going that much faster. You're too wide, and they have to pick a lane. It still kind of scares you just a little bit.
Hey, this track is not like Talladega. We're lane narrower, and so, you know, the expectation would be that the 50 would take it up by the wall. And he's going to have to go all the way to the back on the outside wall, which means everybody that's on the outside lane becomes a middle lane for a little bit. And if there's any snake in or anything like that, they've got to get it under control. Nobody can be skittish about running 3 wide there for a second. You've got to get by them. And a lot of times that's real hard to do here.
It is indeed. It looks like they may catch him on the back stretch. That would be ideal. If you could, but I'm not sure, and they're going to have to split him. He stays right in the middle.
Well, we had the 16 truck there. I'm not sure what happened. There was actually 2 trucks, CJ Gates, and the 16 gets into the 50, so the 2 lap cars get into each other and take out the whole back half of the field there.
Yeah, the 50 didn't quite know where he wanted to go, I don't think, so we'll go back and take a look at that.
Yeah, I think the 50 did what he was supposed to do. He ran the wall, and he stayed up high, and he was letting everybody by, and the 16 just kind of stayed right there in the middle of the track. And he was that much slower, and everybody just had to split to go around him, and then you had the 50 high, and 50 got into the wall a little bit and came down. It just looked to me like the 16 didn't know where to go.
You are right. I thought that was the 50. I didn't even see we caught the 16. My apologies to the 50 of Jeffrey Meyer. I thought that was him that was in the middle. But yeah, you're right. He did exactly what he needed to do. I'm just not sure quite what there was going on. As you do see the 16 just running right down the middle of the backstretch. And then it looked like he actually, as we're watching it from the camera, this one here, looked like he actually tried to get in front of the outside line, like he wanted to pick it up. But there was no way that was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know what the thought process was there. It kind of looked like he was drifting back up to maybe try to catch that outside line after he split him. That's certainly not the way you want to be a lap car going through there, but you know, we got some cars. Looks like we get another reset here, another round of cautions here, and we should have about a 25 lap sprint to the finish.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what the 12 of Chase Galvin is doing, as he just pulled it to a complete stop on the infield. There he is going to get it going. So I'm not sure, maybe he had steering wheel issues, some pedal issues, something happened to cause him to pull it to a stop, as he is now going to get it fired back up and catch the field again.
Yeah, no idea. He pulled it over and literally locked up the brakes. So if I had to guess, I'd say there was a hardware issue there, because he wasn't going fast enough to need to lock up the brakes like that.
Yeah, definitely it wasn't his pedals in it. At least it wasn't his brake pedal that was the problem. I guess he was able to get it to a stop. So yes, maybe a hardware issue. Could have been a software issue. Maybe something popped up in his screen that he couldn't see. That has been known to happen on here. You know, someone has software that'll pop up in their screen, and you know, it's kind of hard to see when you have a screen in front of you there on the track. So, you know, anything could have happened, but he's going to get his spot back there, as he is being scored in 5th place right now.
Hey, it is software. You know, it is a simulator. We don't call it a game here in iRacing. We're a simulator, but software does go bad. I mean, I had a couple races this year where out of the blue my clutch pedal goes maxed in the sim, and As a matter of fact, one was on a restart and it didn't end too well, but you know, it does happen, and you can have anything from a driver issue to a hardware failure to a USB port blinking out or whatever, and it can just totally give you a bad rating on those pedals.
It can indeed, and it is a sim. Anything's possible to happen, just like real life. But that being said, here we do have about 76 laps left. 75 laps completed. We'll have completed in about 2. We're gonna have about 25 to go here in a minute. But we do want to take a minute to, again, hopefully this may be the last caution we have. We'll see. Again, just thank everybody for tuning in here on the new channel. Again, we do this for the fans and the drivers, so thanks for tuning in. And as always, if you have not before, hit that subscribe button if you want to be notified of all the races we have going on in the week. We have about 6-7 days of racing throughout the week, so make sure you get notified of all that. And as well, if you like the racing here tonight, please hit that thumbs up button. Let us know, let these drivers know, and all the sponsors know that you are grateful for what they do. And that being said, we do want to thank the sponsors real fast, of course. Walls Beard Co., Sim Speed Shop, Northwest Racing Series, Ohio IndyCar League, and of course iBog, all coming on board here to make this broadcast possible, as well as all the fans for coming in. Again, you make it possible for us because you're here to watch. If it wasn't for that, well, we really wouldn't have a reason, so thanks for tuning in to the race. That being said, we have probably about 2 laps to go. I don't think we'll have too many cautions. I don't know. We have to wait and see, but maybe 1 caution at the most, if that.
Totally unpredictable. Cautions breed cautions. You know, that's a true statement. Super speedway, we get restarts. We got cars jockeying. There's a good chance we have more than 1 caution. There's a good chance that it goes green. Anything can happen. I do want to point out that we've got the first 7 drivers opted not to pit, so they felt like they had, I'm not sure, they must feel like they've got enough fuel to get to the end, and they're going to run these tires out. So that's something to keep an eye on. Everybody from number 8 back, or from 8th place back, has got gas and tires, and they're ready to go here.
They are indeed ready to go. Keeping in mind, we'll take a look here at the cautions. This is our 6th caution for only 20 laps. Of the 75 going to be completed at the line. We'll take the green flag with the start of lap 76. So we will have a quarter of this race left. 25 laps to go when we get the green flag. And you saw there 19 different lead changes. We've had 7 different leaders, but 19 lead changes. That is a lot of lead changes, but not all that uncommon here at Daytona.
No, it's not. It's not uncommon, especially a longer race like this, to have that many guys cycle up to the front. You're drafting. It's not necessarily like a Charlotte or something like that, where you're talking about saving tires and doing a long run or you know, something to that effect. This is tires don't really slow us down too much here. This is just all about partnering up with other cars, getting in the draft, working your way up front, and so lead changes are pretty common.
They are indeed, and there it is. A green flag is back in the air once again, and we'll see which one is going to get it. It's going to be the 3 that is out front. That is Jim Ott, and so far he has led 35 laps. Ranta has led 22 laps, so those are the only 2 that have led double-digit laps here, and right now Jim Ott is out front.
Yeah, we've got Jim Ott and Justin Wilson here from the Atchison group, and these guys have pretty much dominated the second half of this race so far here. You know, we saw the Randy Raps guys lead most of the first half of this race. We saw them run up front, but the second half has pretty much been Jim Ott, Justin Wilson, and then for a while we had the 1 car of Chase Berry running with those guys.
And looks like we got some more people in chat with us as well as we're watching this lead group here. Eric Green going for the Randy's Rap Super Speedway Series Team DUI for the win. So We got some more Randy's Rap fans out in chat tonight, so thanks for joining us. They are actually on Facebook here tonight, so thanks for joining us. Our first time here on Facebook, first of many. We'll be on Facebook every single night as well as YouTube, so doubling the stream here to get double the exposure for these leagues and for ourselves. Justin Wilson running second right now in that 58 machine, and they are really starting to shuffle it up for about third, fourth, and fifth.
Yeah, we've got a whole host of Randy's Graps guys jockeying to get into position. Looks like they're kind of taking over that inside lane. We got the 44 Brandon Morris up front there on the inside, followed by the 43 of Cody Trudell Cote. And we've got the 17 back up there, Matthew Kleinschmidt. So pretty formidable group forming up there on the inside road there for Randy's Rap. And on the outside, we've got Jim Ott and Justin Wilson, two of the four guys left that I know of for the Atchison group there. And they're looks like we're getting ready to have a heck of a battle here between the two groups.
We are indeed. Again, they know as well as we do up here in the booth. It's getting that time again, crunch time, go time, whatever you want to call it. We're on 79 of 100. So if I don't lose my voice before it's all over here, we are just about at the 20 to go. And once we hit 20 to go, you know, typically that's go time. It'll be up on the overlay there. It'll say 20 to go. But here at Daytona, I really don't feel 20 to go is go time. Maybe 10 to go, maybe even less than that, because with a track like this here at Daytona, there's a key to getting around. If you want to get around someone, you don't want to give the group behind you enough time to get back around you. You know, it's not like where you're on your own and you just have to get out front and pull away. You've got to get out front and make sure that the hard charging group on the inside or outside doesn't have enough time to charge around.
Yeah, absolutely. 20 laps to go. Go time is different every race. You know, depends on how the two lines are moving, how much spots are moving, how easy it is to get through the field. You know, as to whether or not it's go time or not. But right now, it looks like we're lining them up with the Randy's Raps there on the inside line and the Atchison guys there on the outside line. And it sure looks like go time watching this race. And they're getting right up on each other's bumpers. They're getting those lines tight. And they're starting to push them.
They are indeed. And this time by right there is 20 to go here in this race. And so far, we're going caution free, it looks like, for the remainder of this race. We'll see. Again, anything can happen. Right now, we do want to note that our top, again, as you said, 7 drivers right now have 25 to 26 laps on their tires compared to the guys behind them. But again, you know a little bit more on the racing side of things. I don't think those tires are going to wear too terribly much here, but comparing the 25 to 26 laps versus about 10, you know, is it really going to slow you that much down here, especially in this pack racing?
Well, I think we've got the fixed trucks tonight. We've got some good grip on this track. If I'm out there, I'm probably not worried about the tires, but maybe I'm worried about the fuel. You know, we think we had some caution laps there, so that's going to stretch this out. It's not like all 45 of these laps are going to have to be run under green flag conditions. So, but I think we're going to be pretty close on fuel.
Yeah, and that definitely will play a factor here. And these guys up front may be counting on another caution. So, you know, if that's what they're counting on and there's not one, they made the wrong call. If they're out there and it does come out, they made the right call, assuming they're not involved in the caution. So, you know, it's a strategy game. You know, you have to pick a strategy, and at this point, they're committed to that strategy, and, you know, it's either going to work in their favor or it's not. You know, that's just the part of racing that is unpredictable.
Well, most of the guys that got tires, too, here looking through the field, we've only really got about 3 guys with tires and gas on that last stop that are actually with this lead pack. Everybody else is either off pace or lap down, so I'm left to assume they got some pretty heavy damage. So, I mean, looking at that, I do like the position the 350 of Alex Kienzler finds himself in. He's the furthest up guy with fresh tires and knowing he's got enough fuel there. But you know, given the way things look right now, you got to think staying out looks like maybe it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, I definitely think it was too. Again, and the thing is, even if these new guys or the guys on the new tires get up there and get to them, you know, it's not like you can just say honk your horn and get by them. You know, you've got to work with them to try to get by them, because if you think you're just going to blow by them, even with those fresh tires by yourself, you're going to be slower. So it doesn't matter if you catch them, you still got to get by them. And with 7 cars up there, all with old tires grouped together, even with those tires, they are still a force to be reckoned with. So yeah, you're right. I think they've made the right call. We'll see how it plays out. But right now, with 16 to go at the line, it is going to be Jim Ott out front in that number 3.
Yeah, and with Jim Ott working up there with Justin Wilson there in the 58, they're teammates. They're from the Atchison League. They're not likely to leave one or the other hanging right now, so they're staying in that top line. So that's when you've got the top line and guys aren't diving in and you don't have a third line, there's nowhere to go. There's no way to move forward. So old tires, new tires, not going to matter if you can't get to the front. If one of the lines isn't moving or there's not a third line, it really doesn't matter where your tires are at.
Yeah, that is exactly right. You know, doesn't matter what you got if you just can't do anything with it. So right now, these guys on old tires leading this race. Brandon Morris out front right now, as he has led 4 laps already in this race. But again, we talk about it, leading the most laps is good for a points battle if you're trying to win a championship for that bonus. Here, leading the most laps don't mean squat. It's all about leading the last lap to put it in victory lane. You know, this is kind of just for bragging rights, just for fun. So it doesn't matter how many laps you lead, as long as you lead the last one.
Yeah, now a couple laps ago, I watched or a couple corners ago, I watched the 3 and the 58 get pretty high in one of the corners. They've got to be careful, because the guy that's behind him, 12 there, Chase Galvin, is not one of their teammates. He's got the 420 Donovan Ranton behind him. If they were to duck in, if they leave too much room and these guys duck into that middle line, if these guys run too high up to the wall, they could get shuffled to the back. Randy's Wraps might be able to fill all those positions and shuffle the last of the Atchison group to the back of the thing. So they've really got to watch how high they're getting in these corners right now. And yeah, just as I say that, look at the 12 go.
It did indeed. And he actually made a little contact, I believe, with the 44, as a caution is going to come out. And it is back in the back. The 17 and the 350 going to be involved, as well as maybe the 54 of Randy Post. Let's go back and take a look. Not sure what happened exactly, but a few drivers involved here. We'll check in with the 350 of Alex Kienzler and the 17, but something went haywire here.
Yeah, I'm with you here. I'm trying to get to it myself and see what happened there. I think it was just a checkup for that 3 wide. The 43 checked up, the 17 got into him, and then the 17 went back. So I think the 43 got a little nervous when he saw that move from the 12 up front there and tried to check up. And when you got guys that close to you, checking up isn't always a good idea.
Yeah, definitely not always the best idea. It doesn't always work out. It didn't work out this time. We're taking a look from another angle. Yeah, just some checking up and some people going around because of it. Again, it just shows you, you know, situational awareness is a key here. And even if you are on your A game, sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it.
Oh, this is where we talk about being predictable, right? I'm sure that there was nothing predictable about those 2 guys cutting in the 12 there and the 420 cutting into that middle lane. I think it probably caught people off guard. And people were left not knowing how everybody was going to react, not knowing how to react themselves there. And that's the result when you get that checking up. That's where we talk about, you know, wanting to stay predictable, want to be predictable, want to be around people that are predictable, just for that very reason. And, you know, when you get to the end of these races like this, well, you got to make those moves if you're going to win. So predictability tends to go out the window, and we tend to get a lot of late race cautions.
Yeah, we do. And again, I don't think the pace car is technically gone, or I don't think it's gone by the flag stand since they gathered everyone up. So it looks like we're probably going to get this race going here with about 9 to go here to restart the race. And, you know, normally that wouldn't be a big deal, but what you got to think about here is we get the green flag with 9 to go. It's going to take them a good 2 laps to get up to speed here, to really get to speed. So then you're down to 7 laps. You have a caution after that, you know, a lap or so after that. It could end the race. So at this point, when we get the green again, we do not want to see another caution, because that very well could end the race under caution.
Yeah, once we get, you know, at that 5 lap mark, we start getting nervous about cautions and it being ended. Now, if you're the guy in the lead, maybe you're not so nervous. Maybe you want to see a caution, but if you're a guy that's trying to make some moves to get up front, you don't want to wait till the last lap to make that move, because we're not like NASCAR in the fact that we get to do a green-white checker. Unfortunately, we can't. So if we don't have enough laps to get going again green, we're done.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. It would be nice if they could throw a green-white checkered, but unfortunately we just don't have it to do. But, you know, it is what it is. Eventually, maybe one day we might have it. But if a caution did come out, like you said, whoever's leading it right now, that would be Jim Ott, who has now led 44 laps. He'd love to see it. I'm just, you know, as a racer, he'd love to win it on the straight up and up here. I guess it would still be in the up and up, but, you know, under green flag conditions. But, you know, he a win's a win, and he's led the most laps, so it wouldn't be that he didn't earn it, even if it is under caution.
Hey, these guys from the Atchison group, they are outmanned, I believe, if we're going by the TeamSpeak numbers, which isn't completely accurate, but, you know, it looks like they came to this race with 5 guys. So to see 2 of them still running up front there and to see them pull that off, that would be big for this group right now. So hats off to those guys. And, you know, if they've got the lead, I think they're starting on the inside line 1 and 3. So they find themselves in a pretty good position here. That caution may have actually helped them out. I think they want to be on the inside line there. And, you know, they may be the the biggest benefactors from another caution here if we get one quick.
Yeah.
And also want to point out the fuel situation, right? So if we were nervous about fuel and being close before, I would have to think that this caution has eased those concerns a little bit.
Yeah, definitely they have eased the concerns. These guys out front as they run these slow pace laps. Still 2.5 miles around this thing, but you're not burning near as much fuel out there, just kind of coasting. And true, if you have enough fuel, you don't want to shut it off if you don't have very much left at all, as it might not refire. But, you know, these guys can gas it and they kind of let off the gas and coast and turn that car or the truck off. I don't recommend doing it if you're too low on fuel, but you can save some fuel that way, and we have seen drivers do it.
Well, it depends on your setup, right? You can map an ignition button. I have an ignition button, and when I run super speedway races, I'm always cutting my ignition under cautions. 2 reasons, right? I'm trying to cool that engine so I can stay on the bumper. I mean, that's the biggest reason, right, is to cool the engine, because I'm coming down to the end here, and I want to just glue my bumper to the back of that guy in front of me. Push him as hard as I can, and your big concern there would be overheating. So I'm killing the engine right now. I'm getting the temp as low as I can, and then the second reason would be to save gas. The other thing you can do, and a lot of guys will do, is clutch it. You know, they're in the clutch as much as they can under these caution laps, and just coming out of the clutch to kick the speed up a little bit when they need to. But those are 2 good ways to save gas here.
Yeah, they definitely are. The question is anybody doing it? We'll see if anybody runs out of fuel. Again, with these cautions, I think they might be safe as lights are off, so we are going to go racing again here on lap 9. So again, cautions, hopefully we don't have any more. We've had a few, but if we have one here in the next 3 or 4 laps, that would be pushing it to get close. But again, 5 laps to go or less, we don't go racing again. If it's on lap 6 and the caution comes out, we will go racing again for a 1-lap shootout. So that being said, green flag is back out once again. They're back on the loud pedals, getting back up to speed. 9 laps to go here in the race.
Yeah, now we've got the 3 of Jim Ott and the 58 of Justin Wilson. Got a pretty big jump. Not necessarily what you want if you're those 2 guys, right? Because if they get too far out there, these guys are going to get a huge run on them and just bury them on that outside line. So I wonder if this is some strategy here, where the 44 laid back trying to get a run so he can run out the outside there and get by him there.
Yeah, and you've got the 3 of Jim Ott. He looked like for a minute he was thinking about going up to the 44. He may have been trying to cut that momentum off a little bit to go up there. And again, that's part of what you do. You get up there and, you know, you cut that momentum from them off. But, you know, it could spell disaster, especially if you can't get back down. But he did it, and he did kill that momentum as he's now back up there. But now they're both going to move up to the top line.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they moved up there. They might be stuck up there right now. And if the 420 can get to the back bumper of the 43, they're going to get a nice run on the inside here. So let's see if they dive back down here and block that run when it gets going here.
It'll be interesting to see if they do. And again, right now you have Randy's Rwss at the bottom on the inside. Again, if our predictions are right, based on what we can see in TeamSpeak here and on the track, it is going to be Atchison Motorsports on the outside right now. So, you know, it's kind of a reverse role here. Earlier in this race, it was the opposite of that. Randy's Rwss Series, Super Speedway Series, was on the outside, and Atchison Motorsports was on the inside.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they went to the outside, and I'm surprised they didn't try to block that run when it came down there on the inside. So these guys are the ones out there running on this track. They've been running out there for 94 laps now. So clearly they know some things that we don't, but I can't wait till we get to the interviews because I want to ask them about that decision.
Yeah, definitely. It could hurt them. It could help them. We don't know. It's going to be 6 to go at the line. And right now, your leader is being scored as the number 43. Well, it was. Now it's the 3 of Jim Ott. So these guys are trading the lead still back and forth here. And we may have upwards of 30 lead changes before this race is over.
Well, we got 2 cars right now, so the Randy's Rwss guys all dove down the outside. They are not going to help the 2 Atchison guys on the outside line right now. The closest help he has coming is the 1 car back there in 9th place, who's trying desperately to get up to him, but he's just too far back to catch any kind of draft on that outside yet. If these guys can get a little bunched up and he can get to that outside, they may be able to get something going with the 3 of them, but right now it's going to be hard for 2 of these guys to hang on the outside by themselves.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely hard, as right now Cody Chanel Cote is being scored as your race leader in the number 43 machine. And the question is, can he maintain the lead here with 5 laps to go? And that is key. We are 5 laps. At this point, if a caution comes out, race is over. And these guys know that as well as we do, so they're going to have to be on their A game here for the remainder of this race.
Yeah, the 58 is all over the bumper right now of the 3 of Jim Ott. He's doing everything he can to keep them up there. It is so hard to keep that 2-car tandem up there when you've got this big of a line on the inside line. And we see the 1 car trying real hard. He keeps poking out there just hoping to get a little bit of draft and suck up, but they desperately need him to get up there and help him out.
They do. And it looked like, too, if you watch the 43 of Cody, when he gets up there, when that 3 gets a run, you'll see Cody right there. He'll go up, and I'm not sure if he's just wavering from his line a little bit, or if he's trying to get some side draft off the 3.
Yeah, I think, you know, maybe there's a little bit of side draft going on, or maybe he's just trying to run them a little bit wide. So the inside line has a distinct advantage in the corners, especially they don't have that help up there right now. So they got the wider line, and so the farther that he can push them up there right now, the more his advantage. But look at the 1 truck up there. He's starting to catch a little bit of draft and might be able to suck up there now.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need to. He's got going to be 3 laps now left in this race. He doesn't have much time to get there, but if he can catch that draft, he should be able to get up there to him, at least in time to make a run, and he's going to dive it back to the inside. Now he's going to go back on the outside. At this point, I don't know if he's going to have time. He's still trying to get there, but I don't think he may have fallen off of that draft just a little bit.
Well, the 82, he fell off the back bumper of the 420, and that really helped out those 2 guys on the outside line, bought him a little bit of time. So I think the 1 is trying to get a little bit of run down there. He's trying to suck up on the inside and slingshot his way up there on the outside, but it's just not happening for him.
It is not, and the 82 is back, and you can see the 43 of Cody he is definitely scooting up there, trying to get some side draft and push that 3 up just a little bit. And again, that's what he's got to do. He's got to maintain that lead. As you know, right now, for 2 cars up there, they're still putting on a heck of a battle in that outside lane.
Oh, they're giving everything they got. They're doing a heck of a job. But that 82 car, he's getting a little bit wiggly there, and he's really pushing up into the 50 there of Wilson, or not 50, it was the 58 of Justin Wilson, and really pushing him off the line. He's having to get out of line there, and just as I say that, the 3 and the 82 get into each other, and we've got a wreck. And there goes both the front-running Atchison vehicles out of that pack.
They do indeed, and that is the 1 lap to go presented by Northwest Racing Series, and we got more contact with 13 in the 1 into the wall. And right at the end of the race, we see chaos ensuing, and that leaves the 43 out front, and he's got somebody behind him smoking really badly, and he ain't going to make it back to the line, I'm sure. But right now, it looks like the 43 of Cody and Trudell Cote is going to win this race after some late wrecks there. No caution will come out. The white flag had already flown. There it is. Checkered flag is in the air, and your race winner is going to be the 43 of Cody Trudell Cote, bringing home the win here tonight.
Yeah, Death Vader, you called it there in chat. Congratulations on that one. Quite the finish there. We know when we get that 1 to go, iRacing likes to let us run it out if they can, and that's exactly what happened. Not sure what... if there was a little bit of net code there or not, but the 82 and the 3 got into each other. I saw the 82 was drifted up a little bit in the corner, but it looked like the 3 came down, so not sure what exactly happened there. And maybe we had a little net code. I don't know.
Well, definitely something went awry there, but we'll watch here as your race winner is probably going to do some burnouts. And, do things a little different while we watch him do his burnouts and whatnot. We will go ahead and go through your unofficial race results. You might as well call them official. There's no points on the line. So, Jeff, you want to run through our top 10, and then I will finish this out here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So, bringing it home in first place, we've got the 43 truck of Cody Trudell Cote. In second place, we've got the 44 truck of Brandon Morris. Third place, we got the 82 of Derek Watson. And fourth place, we've got the 12 of Chase Galvin. In fifth place, we had the 420 of Donovan Ranta. In sixth place, we had the 54 of Randy Post. In seventh place, the 3 of Jim Ott, the highest finishing finisher from the Atchison group. And in eighth place, we had the 58 of Justin Wilson, also out of the Atchison group. Ninth place, we had the 13 of Matthew Kleinschmidt. And in 10th place, we had the number 1, also from the Atchison group, of R. Chase Berry.
All right, in 11th place will be Alex Kinsler. 12th place will be Scott Leitner. 13th, Mitch Beaver. 14th, Greg Floyd. 15th, CJ Gates. 16th, we'll go to Jeffrey Meyer. And 17th, rounding out the fields here tonight, will be Roy Atchison, who again got knocked out of the race. The first one out of the race here tonight. that is your race results here. As you can see, the teams out there doing some burnouts on the track. So give us just a minute, folks. We will be right back here with your post-race show. As always, thanks for tuning in for that. But we're not done just yet. Please hit the subscribe button and that thumbs up if you like the racing here tonight. We'll be right back here with your post-race show and top 3 interviews. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here with your post-race show after what was an exciting race here at Daytona. Still a lot of smoke on the front stretch after a lot of burnouts going on, but finishing in third here tonight, of course, is the 82 of Derek Watson. So first off, welcome to the booth here for the first time. And just give us your thoughts on the race. It wasn't a points bat or anything like that. Just out here for bragging rights tonight.
A lot of chaos in both good and bad ways throughout these 100 laps. A lot of movement in these cars. Some of it natural just from the cars. Some of it, just it felt like some people just weren't exactly holding it still. But a really fun race. Glad to be top 3. Glad to get out here and put this AOD racing car up in top 3. So I had fun.
Well, again, you put on a good run there. Looking here, you did lead 3 laps. Again, normally we would ask a driver, obviously, if they think they had a shot to win, if they had the car to win here. But it's Daytona, it's about the draft and working with people. So, everyone up there had a good shot to win. Had we had a few more laps, you think you could have rallied something together and got up there to the front and or further in the front and got the win here tonight?
I don't know. Here on the half of the Randy Raps Super Speedway Series League, I am don't typically get a chance to run with these guys. I'm typically their admin, so I don't have that partnership and that bond that some of these guys have to. I don't have that knowledge of how the team works. So, these other guys really are better synced. I was happy to be in third. It's possible, had the wreck on the outside lane not happened, I think 1 or 2 to go, that I was hoping to get in front of that line and try to take it to the front. But I don't know if I'm not confident. I was stoked to be in third, to be honest.
Well, definitely, regardless of if you could have got up to the win this thing, you still finish in the podium, so that's a very good finish here for third place. So, you got any sponsors on the car, or just someone you want to give a shout out to here for that third place finish?
I run a team on my own called AOD Racing. I co-run that team, I should say. So, ClanAOD.net, you can head over there, and we're always accepting driver applications if you're looking to run Road to Pro, NIS, whatnot. They're great to me. They give me time to go out and run these events as well as practice for the big events. We have one more final Indy 500 tomorrow. We already placed 2 8s and a 5th this weekend, so we're hoping to maybe bring home a podium in the final 500 tomorrow.
Oh, there you go. So if you're looking to get on a team, there you go. One is taking applications. Again, finishing in third place, that is Derek Watson. Finishing in second place, 1 spot ahead, that is the 44 of Brandon Morris. Again, another solid finish for you here. You led 5 laps in the race. So, again, your thoughts. What was it like out there? We saw a lot of back and forth and a lot of lead changes here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun running with the Atchison guys. I was really excited to find out we were going to be doing this. I think we should probably try to do it more often. It is a lot of fun to mix up with different leagues and see how they run, and we can also kind of learn from each other. But yeah, there's a lot of strategy going on. The Randy's Rap guys were trying to do their own thing, and then you could tell that their guys were trying to run together and stay up front, and they were going back and forth, running high, coming low, and we just tried to manage it the best we could and tried to keep Randy's Rep guys up front, and it worked out.
Well, it did work out indeed. You got the win here. So, again, just an outstanding job here. And, again, I, too, would love to see more of this. This is a cool little thing. It'd be cool to see more leagues do this and have, fun races together instead of, necessarily not getting along. It's cool to see them get along, have respect for each other, and put on some great races together. So, again, it's getting kind of late here. We don't want to keep anyone too late. We know you want to go celebrate for the win here for the league and the team. So, any sponsors, anyone you want to give a shout out to for getting that second place finish?
Yeah, well, I'll just shout out to my sponsor, the Rustic Rig Custom Cabinet Shop. Local cabinet shop here, and I want to thank all the guys that I ran with from Randy's Rats, but especially the DUI racing guys that I run with several days a week. We're always running races together. We've become really good friends, and we've made a lot of changes in our team recently, but they've been for the better, and I'm super excited about my team, and we're running real fast. We're staying up front, and I just want to thank those guys.
Well, definitely good job on finishing second here for some bragging rights. No points on the line tonight, so congrats on that second place. And I believe Jeff has caught up with our race winner here tonight.
Yeah, 1 second here before we get to Cody. Just one comment for Brandon. Wanted to let him know that Eric Green was in Facebook chat cheering on Team DUI and his buddy Brandon the whole race. So wanted to pass that along to you here before we get to Cody. Hey, Cody, you got a copy?
Hey there, guys.
Hey, Cody, congratulations on winning the race. Speaking of fan clubs, we have Darren here on YouTube chat that wants me to tell you, great work. You deserved it. He was in chat. He's been cheering you on. He says he runs in both leagues, and so I asked him to give me a name, one name from each league to keep an eye on, and he only gave me one name, and it was yours. So Darren is a big fan, and he's pretty happy for you, cheering you on there. So great work from Cody, or from Darren.
That Darren. Thanks, buddy.
All right, Darren. I got it in. I asked him if he had any questions for you, and he didn't have anything for me. So, first of all, man, I watched your race. You were just steady all race. I watched you. You started off where you were running there in the back. Looked like you teamed up. I don't know if the 46 was it Mitch Beaver. I can't remember now. I don't know if he's on your team. You guys have similar paint schemes, and you were running together there for a while. Looked like you guys came to the field together. You maybe missed some wrecks there, and then you got up front. So you had a real steady progression through the field. And then Darren told me to keep an eye on you, which you already was. And then once you got up front, you really controlled your space up front there. You worked real good with the 44 truck there, Brandon. You worked both lines, the high line, the low line. You'd been there before. It was pretty obvious. So just kind of walk me through your race here a little bit, if you would.
Pretty much. At the beginning of the race, I knew I didn't really qualify that great. I qualified, I think, 12th or 13th, and I knew there was going to be a lot of fast racers and a lot of fast competition. So I went in thinking I'll just hold a solid line and see where I fall and see if I can work with that. And for the most part, it worked. It worked all night. That was my game plan. That incident where it came up probably around lap 10, and I was put in the back. I hooked up with Mitch Beaver, so I hooked up with him, and he pulled me all the way out to where the pack was. I was able to control that, and I stayed with the pack all race. And then another caution hit. I was still with them, and nobody really had a good start. So I pretty much was just waiting for another caution, and the caution hit. I moved up a couple spots. I took another pit, and then I was involved in a wreck, and that put me back. And I was able to get or stay in about 6th or 7th place, and everything really fell into my lap. I just stayed in the inside line. I knew there was going to be momentum. As long as I stayed there, down the back stretch, the outside line did have a good amount of momentum, but coming out of turn 3 and 4, I knew the outside would always have, or the inside would always have the greater speed. So I just stayed on the inside, and whoever went on the outside to try to pull lost enough momentum where I just slided up. And I knew where, I think it was number 3 and his partner there on the inside. As soon as they went to go block a teammate, which would be Randy's Rwss for me, as soon as they went to go block in the corner, I just took that opportunity and went into first, and I was able to hold that.
Well, definitely a good move for you, and we talked about that in the race too. And I said I wanted to ask about that in this interview, and Jim Ott didn't. Him and I think it was Justin Wilson. They didn't survive to make it here for the interview. So I'll ask you. They moved up for that block there at the end of the race, which surprised me a little bit. But you didn't have a huge run on the inside line. And they had the opportunity to move back down and block your momentum and keep control of the inside line, but they opted to stay on the high line. And I was a little bit surprised at that move because I thought the inside line was working so much better through the corners. And it ended up, I think, getting them because then all the Randy's Rwss guys just dove down from the high line and stayed on the inside line. But were you surprised when they didn't come back down and try to control that inside line?
After they moved in, I was starting to get momentum back in. I was thinking number 3 was going to pull back in front of me because the whole race, or a good amount of the race, he was leading, and there was moments where he was blocking. And I had a moment where I thought he was going to come back into turn 3 and 4, and he just stayed. So him and his partner stayed. Randy's Rwss guys came and dropped back down behind me, and they kept my momentum up well enough to stay there.
Yeah, you guys were all working. You were all in sync there at the end. Was that just everybody just knowing what to do because you've all run with each other, or were you guys calling out strategy, on the race radio there and chatting with each other in TeamSpeak?
There was a little bit of chatting, coordination, but we've been running this league for a good 7-8 weeks solid. Every week is a good solid race, and I think it's just we've naturally been able to get used to each other, so we know when we can push and when we can pull, and we're able to work that strategy out naturally, I guess.
Well, it was great strategy, great teamwork. You guys definitely worked together. You got the win. I believe the first 7 finishers were all out of the Randy's Rwss group, so no question who gets to take the bragging rights out of this race. So. And congrats to you on a fantastic race. Congrats to Darren, who was a huge fan of yours there in YouTube chat. So I know he was pulling for you. So congrats to both of you. Any shout outs? You got any sponsors, friends, buddies, teammates you want to get a shout out to?
Honestly, when Randy came up to me and asked me if I wanted to race and represent Randy's Rwss, I was floored. I was absolutely over the moon. Right away I picked it up. I'm excited. I wanted to race, wanted to represent our league full force, and we all did that. I usually have a team back in the league, Redline Racing, and I usually congratulate them or thank them, but I just want to thank Randy's Rwss. I came here to be a teammate for them and to represent them, and this is really all them. I just want to thank Randy's Rwss. Super Speedway Series for hosting every week and being able to come out with the win this week or this race.
Well, congratulations. Well played, guys. Excellent work. Can't wait till we see more of you guys here later this summer when we start covering you. And thanks for putting on a heck of a show. We're going to go ahead and send it back down to Charles now, and he can wrap this thing up.
Thanks, guys.
And indeed, we don't have much more business to take care of course. You were watching the Randy's Rap Super Speedway Series versus Atchison Motorsports Xfinity Series, as that will definitely wrap it up. We do want to thank all the sponsors that come on board to make this broadcast possible. Again, starting with Walls Beard Co. If you're a guy, you have a beard, you need to take care of it, make sure you check them out at wallsbeardco.com for all of their beard product needs, all organic and natural products there. They also have different scents, so you can smell good all day as well. SimSpeedShop.com for all you sim racers out there. You're going to need to up your level if you want to be at the top of your game, so you can get a custom built button box from them, as well as some e-brakes for you rallycross racers. Again, hit them up at SimSpeedShop.com. Northwest Racing Series. Again, if you are in the Northwest Racing Series, make sure you hit them up. I'm not sure if they are taking new members right now, but they are in the chase right now, so if they're not, they will be here shortly. But you can tune in on Thursday nights and Monday nights to watch all that racing action from the chase right now, as we are racing. I believe we are running super speedways there this week as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And of course, they are the one to go sponsor. So all white flags are sponsored by Northwest Racing Series. Ohio IndyCar League. If you are on iRacing, they are no longer just taking Ohio club members. If IndyCar racing is your thing, you can check them out at Ohio IndyCar League on iRacing and get all the latest details at facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League for that information. And of course, last but not least, is iBog. iBog.co is where you can find Jason Allison. He is iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics, your sim race broadcast graphics source. The graphics you see, the animations you see, all of that great stuff came from him. So definitely, if you're looking to get into broadcasting or just looking to have some overlays made so that you can have some stuff on your stream, make sure you check him out at ibog.co. That being said, we are done here for the night, so make sure you stay tuned. We have a lot of racing coming up. We have the TND Short Track Series tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central, 3 Eastern, and then we will move on to the Northwest Xfinity Series on Monday night, and a lot more racing coming up, so stay tuned for that, and we will see you at the next race.